flames, awaken the power held inside of me, harness resilience through the pain. I'm a warrior.
Self-bio, sleep on checkmate. Are you kidding? Michael to the rescue. The blade comes out and he shuts it all down in one fell swoop. Absolutely stomping. Oh, what is that? Haven't even got to the bridge. Backbone.
warrior. I'm a hurricane like Gloria. I won't fail my times now. Rise of glory, won't back down. I take the pain and I let it out. On the mountaintop, shout it out. Break away, let me demonstrate my mentality. Activate. Oh,
Rampage through the side room. Everybody, massive from Bernard. Catches everybody else.
I'm a warrior.
Gonna look to make it happen, and there it is. Proper. Cannot be stopped.
On the mountaintop, shout it out. Break away, let me demonstrate my mentality. Activate.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another day of the Overwatch League here in the APAC region. I am Achilles, joined by Avril, and we'll be guiding you through not just tonight, not just tomorrow, but all 3 days of the Action 7 matches. Kicking things off for our first one, we're going to have the Seoul Dynasty going up against the Chengdu Hunters.
It is 7-match September, Achilles. Didn't you know? I mean, that's what
Right
it's
at the
about to be. All seven right at the end. This is the last weekend of September. And the last week, by the way, before the launch of Overwatch 2. It's coming. It's officially coming. How many days out now? Like 5? It's less than a week. It's less than a week is what it is.
It's pretty damn close.
So I'm excited. We're so damn close. We're so damn close to getting there. But we do have some exciting matches to go through tonight. Important ones as well in terms of how it's going to affect our standings as well as entry into both playoffs and qualification into play-ins, as only 6 teams in this region can make it to play-ins. The top 3 go directly to the playoffs, and the bottom team, the last place team in 7th, is going to be automatically eliminated, and for them, their season will be over. And looking at the standings so far, those are the 2 main talking points. Achilles at the 7th place, dodging of that, and sneaking into 3rd place as well. So currently the Charge, the Valiant, they are somewhat neck and neck, 2 points apart in terms of escaping the dredges of 7th place. And then for the fight for top 3, Seoul Dynasty and Dragons are locked in. They cannot be removed from the top 2, which means there's only 1 position left for... I think Hunters can technically still make it. Charge cannot. Hunters would have to win all 4 of their matches, and I believe Fusion will have to lose all 4 because there's a 4-point gap between Fusion and Hunters. So technically, still on the board, still on the cards for the Chengdu Hunters, but they got to go flawless from here on out.
Yeah, and I mean, being able to take down the Seoul Dynasty here with a clean series would definitely be a really good shot for the Chengdu Hunters. Odds to be able to do that. If they can best them, then, you know, maybe it's going to be a breeze for the rest of those series, but you never really know when that Chengdu zone is going to crop up again. We'll take a look at our starting lineup. So starting with the side of the Chengdu Hunters, and once more, it's not going to be anything too shocking. We don't have Daisy starting, and we'll be Gaga there.
I want to talk one more point about that Chengdu zone as well, because not only do they still have a pathway qualification in for playoffs, but also they're not quite safe from 7th place either. Philadelphia Fusion and the Hangzhou Spark, they are safe from being eliminated. They, at very minimum, will still make the play-ins. They cannot finish 7th place. Hunters, Charge, and Valiant still can. So the Hunters sit on this very, very kind of middle ground of a precipice between having the capability of direct qualification to playoffs, but also in equal degrees having the capability of unfortunately losing out in play-ins entirely. So they really are in a dangerous position. They really got to win, but I think thankfully, Achilles, they do look like one of our better teams so far for the stage.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they've been looking just utterly impeccable. Monk in particular, fantastic on the Ana. Jinmu has just been pounding kind of regardless of what he picks up, so certainly should have their work cut out for them going into this series here on the side of the Seoul Dynasties. We'll take a look at the starting 6 over there as well, but much like this lineup, it's not going to leave much to the imagination here. It is just going to be the straight-up 5 that we have been seeing.
Yeah, with Eris on board as well, who has so far fit very comfortably into the Seoul Dynasty, and his counterparts from his old team, the Houston Outlaws. Creative has also fit quite comfortably on that team as well. So that trade between Seoul and Houston has been quite a positive trade, I would say, for both sides so far. Both teams looking very, very invigorated and in a position to win, dominate their respective regions. Certainly Seoul Dynasty is looking number 1 at the moment. When they took down the Shanghai Dragons, that really was both in the fashion that they did, a 3-0 fashion. Somewhat surprising result, given that Shanghai's actually just won Summer Showdown, right? So they're defending champions. They beat Seoul, I think 3 times in the Summer Showdown. And then right at the gates, Seoul beat them right back 3-0. So Seoul now currently are top in the leaderboard for the Countdown Cup.
Yep, stretching that lead just a little bit more. But like we said, they are both locked in. So for this, it's really just the brownie points and trying to make sure that you can tout yourself as being the best of the region going into the playoffs later on down the line. But it is wild how close we are now to the release of the game, to the playoffs as well. It has been a bit of a long season, but it's been a very long wait, and the game is just around the corner, and it feels a bit surreal. I don't know how I'm going to split my time, Avril. We've got a lot of games to be playing at the moment. So with Overwatch 2 also releasing, yeah, I've been wrath-pilled like crazy when it comes down to World of Warcraft. Now they've announced the release date of Dragonflight. I don't know if I'm actually going to play that one, but it's yeah, it's not good for my sleep schedule, that's for damn sure. So with Overwatch 2 coming out as well, I don't know exactly how I'm going to split my time.
A lack of sleep, I think will be the answer to your question there. Just, you know, sacrifice sleep.
We've been getting there.
Games.
It's been happening. I mean, I was 35, I think, consecutive hours when Wrath came out, something like that. Slept for about 5 hours, and that's been me for the last 3 days. So, you know, we're we're running on empty, but it's okay. We're good to go.
35 consecutive.
The diet of sugar-free Red Bull and, like, McDonald's and some other stuff has been carrying me through. So we'll see how long I can keep this one up. I have hit 30 years old now, so I should start taking a little bit better care of my body, I suppose.
Yeah, you lose 1 extra hour of consecutive amount of time you can stay up with each year that you are older. So I can only do 42 hours. No, I'm kidding. I don't know, actually. I haven't tried for a while. I probably don't want to try. Leaves back in the lobby now. Well, he's entered his seat, so he's getting ready to play. We have all of our 10 starters up and ready to go. And got to say as well, Hunters will be interested to see on map 3 for Escort if Daisy comes back in. Now, there's been a bit of discussion around, you know, what does the meta actually look like? What is the top tier picks? And we see a lot of, you know, the comps in NA being focused around D.Va, Zarya. There's a lot more off tanks in North America. They're playing a lot of double flex support as well. Here in the East, we have mainly the single flex support plus a main support, just a traditional duo. We have a lot less double flex support lineups in general, and I think we have a lot more main tanks, given we, in this lobby alone, you got Gaga and Smurf, so we're seeing a lot more Winston gameplay. I do wonder if teams are going to start leaning into a little bit more Zarya, and I think the reason I say that, not because of NA's influence, but specifically you look at Piggy from the Charge. I think Guangzhou beating Shanghai as well really opened up some eyes, so we get to see Shanghai a little bit later on, see how much they've changed, if they've changed at all. So far for these two teams, we're seeing that they're definitely going to be sticking to their guns. And we'll see, because Fusion also did quite well with Fury on Zarya. So let's take a look at our map set here. Starting things out on Busan, and then Dorado's on board now. Because Dorado's on board, I actually think Gaga might stand just play the Winston, but that'll be 2 maps down the line.
Yeah. Well, I think this is just a taunt, because, I mean, I mentioned to you earlier when we were first getting checked in, I was going to maybe go to Busan this weekend, but we got fully booked up, so no days off,
you're here.
Which I don't mind.
Well, you're here.
So I'm here, but yeah, we got the Busan in the end. Not quite.
Speaking of Busan, by the way,
the scenes I was looking for.
I want to, before we enter game, I want to mention really quickly, just to build some hype for it, but Seoul and Fusion will be playing their match next week live in Busan. In the Esports arena there, where contenders matches has been hosted. Many contenders finals have been hosted there, so we were actually going to get a live Overwatch match in APAC next week. But that's next week. Let's focus on right now. Chengdu Seoul, we're going to roll out. Smurf on the Zarya, Gaga on the Zarya. There we go.
Okay.
2 main tanks, but it's 2 Zaryas.
And it is. Well, they're looking for the Zarya there. Hack went across, but they're unable to find the pinch, and actually it's going to be Vinham taking down Jinmu, opening things up quite nicely here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Eurus now under a bit of fire as Gaga looks to pressure him out. Leave will find the rail shot to take down Fitz. The cleanup is coming through. Smurf just going to try to build as much of a grab as he possibly can, but inevitably does die, and that will be the cap coming through first for the Chengdu Hunters.
A really fast first blood coming through Jinmu as well. The follow-up from Leave. Look at the old charge already onto those 2 members. Chengdu have forgone the Sombra gameplay, not interested in that one. You have 2 of their players still on very comfortable picks. Jinmu Genji is always going to be a strong look for the Chengdu Hunters. Let's see if they can hold on to their positioning now as Fitz looks for opening pack. I don't think he got one.
Doesn't seem like it. Excuse me, I was choking on some water there. That didn't go across on the microphone, but Prophet now just getting zoned out a bit. You can see Jinmu has been surging forward. Gaga does get taken down, and Jinmu will fall as well. With him getting up on top of him, finds him with a right click. Prophet popping the deflect, just trying to stay alive. It has a good amount of fuel. Smurf is 100 energy. He manages to go ahead and smash out both of the supports. So the flip will be there for the side of Dynasty. Chengdu Hunters, they accrue 37%.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Smurf's ult charge here as well. He's actually doing double the damage, or nearly rather double the damage of Gaga so far, who's still trying to catch up. And at this stage, you know, the opening hack from Fitz landing on top of Gaga, enabling that play to come through. I think there was a bit of a window of opportunity there for Chengdu to still strike back, but couldn't quite find the opening for it. Now Grab's going to come on through. Should be coming in this choke as well. Smurf low, though.
Oh, he's going to use it. Get the solo here. On to leave. The Nano going to be invested for Monk as well, just to try to keep him alive. In the meantime, Smurf turns his sights over to Gaga. Will find that elimination, so it still does manage to come up with a kill here on the side of the Dynasty, maintaining that man advantage here for themselves. Vinheim first to have the beat, and he should not far behind. We'll see when the trigger does get pulled on these, because Fitz has that EMP locked.
And that's the thing, right, because we're looking at two potential plays here for Seoul Dynasty. They can go aggressive with the EMP, probably not recommended. They'd have to push into Chengdu, or they can allow Chengdu to push out the open, then EMP them. You also would like to catch Jinmu in that as well.
Okay, well, it's going to be the EMP in response to the overclock. Sound barrier does come through from Nisha. He keeps everybody alive for the time being, and Vinheim is actually going to fall. Prophet take it down as well. 2 kills found. Jinmu will go ahead and resheath the Dragon Blade, gets on top of Iris for another kill. The flip should be there for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, so it's a lead right now for the side of the Dynasty, but a fairly narrow one. It's going to be about a 30% separation when this cap comes in.
And that is exactly why you have to catch Jinmu in that EMP as well, because he holds the counterplay cards, right? He can pull that blade through, and Vinheim would have to counter immediately with that sound barrier. You notice that Vinheim was actually already on half HP as Jinmu dives on in. Jinmu actually might have been the one to put him at half HP. He didn't want to Ajax the sound barrier, so he kept it. Jinmu pulls blade, gains value. Hunters turn around the fight very quickly, despite the EMP. So very important that Fitz would catch Jinmu, did not do that, and Chengdu have the advantage now. They can play through this grab, but there's still a beat blade on board for Dynasty.
Yeah. Grab could be everything. Nano nearly up for Monk as well. Keeps somebody alive. Let's see where he decides to just turn his attention to with that one, but Smurf going to be taken down. Jinmu just dashes right through, finds the kill. That's going to have to be a reset for the side of the Dynasty, and now the lead will be retaken, I should say, for the side of the Chengdu Hunters.
And Hunters get the save ultimates there as well, so just a neutral kill. No grab burnt, built up a free Nano on top of that as well, and they can play through for Nano Blade if this goes longer. Monk would like to not have to burn it on a Gaga or maybe Monk, or rather Nisha, if possible. He is Monk. Seoul Dynasty now looking towards nearly 4 ultimates.
Oh, grab is absolutely massive there. Just a couple. Prophet actually managing to survive despite getting nanoed out. Pulls the blade, finds 2. Gaga killing himself off the right click, actually. This Prophet will go ahead, slurp himself a 3rd kill. Cleanup is there, just shy of that 99%. But Chengdu Hunters, they do have some ults to work with to try to retake this and close out the round.
Yeah, they're going to get Grav, though. The problem is they have to fight through Grav and a choke and EMP again, so Chengdu actually holding ults there. Notice that Monk didn't use his Nano. Jinmu didn't have the blade just yet. It's all 5.
EMP basically catching everybody. Yep, Gaga, I think, able to maybe bubble off the whole thing there on the screen, but now he's trying to answer back a kill on Smurf. He's got 38 HP. He will be able to beam him down.
Kill.
That's Smurf out of the fight for a little period of time here. The Nano going to be expiring. They shift their way over to the point. They start looking for the cap. Somebody from the side of the Dynasty is going to have to occupy this position here rather soon, or else the flip is going to be coming through, and actually they give it up. And can they touch? They can't touch.
And no touch!
Okay. All right, sure.
Prophet was there. Too far away. Too far away. I think that could have been a very interesting fight because we have, I believe it was Beat Blade coming up for Jinmu and Nisha. Well, Jinmu had the blade. Nisha was about to find it. And on the other end, it was, I believe, only a grab for Smurf. Now, the critical moment there for me were 2 critical moments. One was when Seoul took the fight to Chengdu, played their Nano plus Blade plus, I think, 1 other ultimate got in there as well, the sound barrier, I believe. And Chengdu burned only their grab in response and nothing else. To be fair, they didn't have the blade at the time. That was a very important fight for Seoul to win because then they retain tempo control as we head towards the 100% mark. But then Chengdu flip it when they kill Smurf, and Smurf is somehow solo beneath the point on the bridge, caught out by Gaga, and Smurf cannot die there because he had the pivotal ultimate. So Seoul kind of letting that one slip through their fingers a little bit. Smurf on a diva now.
Were. They were just too good, Avril. They flipped the point before it hit 99%, so that when Chengdu regained control, there was just no forced out overtime. If Seoul Dynasty were 1% worse at the game, then they would have had OT. Monk with a nice opening kill. Prophet going to be taken down. Jinmu shifting over now towards that Sombra. Going to be matching Fitz, and they do catch him out, but he's got the translocator set up.
The Gaga ball is a very interesting pick here because it does get countered quite a bit by Vinheim and Fitz's specific picks. Though, speaking of picks, Chengdu so far, they have the point control. They've gotten 2 kills in a row. Prophet and Iris have been taken down summarily. Gaga just has to make sure he doesn't get targeted too hard. So far, he's gone below half HP, but not dead. So, still, again, has to be very careful. Fitz can build very fast EMPs off of farming Gaga alone.
Slow and steady here. Some pings coming down. Smurf spotting out Lee for a brief moment, who is absolutely destroyed Prophet as far as that pulse bomb build time is concerned. Sleep out on a Fitz, trying to keep him alive, and no, Monk just pushes right up on top of him. Charge right click, Fitz dead. Great sleep from the side of Nisha. I'm used to saying Monk, but great sleep from Nisha. As they continue to go on the hunt, looking for Prophet, pops the recall, still in a dangerous position, gets tagged up,
Man,
takes him down.
Prophet. Yeah, not having a good time against these double flexibles, and it's quite a risky pick as well, because you would imagine that a dive tank plus Sombra Tracer would be able to control double flexibles quite easily, especially when you have an Ana, a D.Va versus an Ana matchup as well. Leave now popping to that pulse that he earns so quickly, as we say. And we're at 56% now for Chengdu. Double EMPs about to be online.
I mean, they barely touched the point right now for the side of the Dynasty. That's how brutal this has been. They just keep getting picked off one after the other. And Fitz now, spy check going down low. Yep, takes the translocator out. Fortunately for him, there's no one there to go ahead and finish him off. It's about to be 4 ults v 4 ults. There's the EMP.
Oh, the
triggers against pulled. Jinmu does get some, but he's going to make it out alive. And Eris is going to fall. Vinheim now under fire as well. Gaga comes up with both kills onto the supports. Pulse bomb for Prophet. Yeah, wow. It will find Nisha. They get the flip in the meantime, but they still need to win out the rest of the fight. EMP is out from Fitz. He manages to get on top of Lee. Finishes up with a melee hit. Smurf popping that self-destruct. Not going to find any kills, but does manage to stay alive. Occupies the point here further as he waits for the reinforcements, waits for the supports to rejoin the fray. Eris at 92% now towards that Transcendence. Desperately going to be needed that one if they want to win this round.
And they had the flip in the middle of the fight there as well. Soul was able to stay, sneak that one away. Otherwise, we'd already be at 99% for the Chengdu Hunters. Very precarious space to be. Fitz attempting to assassinate Monk, but look at the pocket healing. Nisha just saves him.
They take him so low, and the pile driver from Gaga is massive. Once more, he sets up for the kills onto both supports. Prophet answering a kill back. I'm getting deja vu, though it's not going to be on the Nisha this time around. But
Monk's fragging.
Well, he gets the one. He gets taken down. Monk has been absolutely crushing it right now. The flip is there once more. Dynasty only get the 44%. Chengdu Hunters getting ready to crest 85.
Yeah, and Chengdu's dives have just been much better, right? Gaga landing on top of the pile drives, deleting Eris and Vinheim with a combination of Jinmu and Leave in that play as well. And Seoul Dynasty, the opposite, right? You see them try and dive on top of Monk and Nisha. The peel is so strong. Some more damage focus onto Gaga this time around. We're about to hit the 99 mark. Soul flip it again. No contest from Chengdu. Gaga was too low.
But again, they flip it before 99%, so it's not going to be a forced overtime. Could it happen twice? Back to back.
EMP coming again.
Crazy. Well, that's going to be the Transcendence pop to go ahead and clear out the minefield. The EMP out from Fitz, manages to catch both the supports. The sleep dart out onto Monk. And they needed that to be able to get that pulse bomb because it had not stopped.
Return.
But Leave answers back with one of his own. That's going to be the Zenyatta's now out of the fight. Now Vinheim and Nisha both falling. Leave and Prophet doing their damnedest to try to turn this fight into their favor. He sees the Prophet so dangerously low, but he cannot pursue deep enough to try to finish him off. Leave going to be popping the recall. Just dig it back up to full. Chipped away at here. Smurf looks for the kill, but Gaga crashes through. Finds Prophet. Still in control right now are the Seoul Dynasty. 82%, but the point going to be occupied. Chengdu Hunters once more looking for the flip, and this time somebody absolutely needs to get the touch. The contest is going to be there in time. They stop the flip from coming in. Smurf now in control. The Nano up, as you say, for Vinheim. Leaf goes into the back. He's looking for Fitz. He's trying to take him down. The health pack comes back up. Fitz slurps that up. Makes his exit. 98% now. Chengdu Hunters the ones who need to get the touch, so the touch is there. Monk moves forward, Transcendence rolling and trying to keep everybody alive. Nano's down to the Smurf, as you say. Now the self-destruct available. Has that one for a rainy day. Prophet gets on top of Nisha, manages to find the elimination. That's one of the supports out of the fight, but gives his life for it. Monk shuts him down once more. Smurf under some fire. Goes low, the self-destruct, a Hail Mary thrown out over the top. Not going to find a pick, but on top of the drum he is safe. Manages to get the remake off. Straight back into the action now. Leaf throwing down the pulse bomb. Looks for both of the supports. Cannot make the connection, however, so they will stay alive for a little bit longer. But Smurf, in the meantime, does get taken down. The flip is there. Chengdu Hunters now in control of the minefield. Comes down here onto the point. Prophet only able to find one. And he's pretty much the only one that can keep this one contested, but he is now fallen. Leave striking him down. Eris desperately trying to build up the Transcendence, but the boot from Nisha is too damn good. Knocks him away from the point before he could get the touch, and even if he got it, it probably was not going to result in a round victory. Chengdu Hunters kick things off beautifully as they take down the Dynasty 2-0 in Busan.
Yeah, that is going to be the first map loss for the Seoul Dynasty so far in the Countdown Cup. They were 3-0 versus the Valiant, 3-0 versus Shanghai. But day one in week 2 here for the Countdown Cup, we already have a map loss for the Seoul Dynasty and Achilles. It's a 2-0 scoreline on Busan as well. expertly turned around on Mecha Base, and they had control and the lead on Sanctuary for a fair long time as well. Seoul Dynasty did steal away the cap at numerous points on Sanctuary, but it wasn't enough. The dives from Chengdu were better. Leave on the Tracer was better. The backline of Monk and Nisha protected each other, pocketed each other, and were far more difficult to take down for the Seoul Dynasty, and that was the key difference.
Well. Chengdu Hunters kicking things off nicely. We mentioned, Avril, that if they can get this win, that would really set the stage for them to be able to make that miracle run, go ahead and win their next several series to try to make their way into that number 3 spot. So it's a very solid start. Dynasty looking a little bit out of sorts. We'll see how they fare, though, as they get a little bit of a break. They come back in and get set up for Hybrid. It's going to be King's Row for our second map, so don't go anywhere. The action continues in just a few. Welcome back. A bit of an odd start compared to what we're used to expecting here, as Avril mentioned at the end of that game. First map dropped here for the side of the Seoul Dynasty so far in the Countdown Cup qualifier. Chengdu Hunters managed to take Busan 2-0 in fairly dominant fashion. Dynasty looking a bit out of sorts. Now we come back from the break. Let's see if they've kind of righted the ship, had enough time to really get their heads in the game, because that first map, it didn't look like they were.
And I think, to me, a big difference maker was the Monk Nisha backline. They were very impressive on Busan all around, especially on Sanctuary.
Yeah.
The difference in how effectively they can peel for each other and protect each other and keep them safe versus a Sombra Tracer dive versus the opposite with Eris and Vindame. How many times, Achilles, did we see them both go down the kill feed at the same time to the Jimmu, Leave, Gaga, Triarchy there, just dropping down on top of them? And I got to focus on one play in particular. Gaga played phenomenally on that map, considering, in my very humble opinion, he is definitely he's having to row upstream on this ball, given that you are up against a Sombra, Ana combination in this particular meta where even things like a D.Va on the defense peeling is very strong. Your support should not be dying with the D.Va peeling. Prophet can also chase down the ball as well. It's a very dangerous situation to be playing ball. We also have, by the way, the green HP nerf. Now, you can charge 50% ult charge off that, so, you know, even ball gets a slight nerf off that general change. And yet Gaga still expertly pilots this ball and gains immense value.
It's very fantastically done from him. Let's see how they fare, though, moving forward. Normally, you know, we do get Dicey showing up sometimes in this, when it comes down to King's Row, but not today. We'll just be sticking through with Gaga all the same, and if he's going to be playing like that in every single map, then I'm all about it. So here we go.
Smurf,
first on the attack here, Seoul Dynasty.
And Smurf onto the Zarya again, so leaning very heavily towards his off-tank hero pool today. You get to see him play any of those main tanks. Maybe swapping towards that on Dorado. I think the Dorado will be a very important map for Seoul, given that Prophet, Tracer, Smurf, Winston is bread and butter on that. But now for Chengdu, they are playing a very different comp. We are seeing 4 different heroes across the board. The only hero that is equal on either side is the fact that we have an Ana. Otherwise, it's completely different.
Yeah. A lot of differences, which again, we were talking about this meta, you know, the meta so far, and how we love it. And this is a reason why. Gaga, though, getting picked off. Prophet finding that kill, that really opens up the point to be captured now for the side of the Dynasty. Made down from Leave. Fitz, Jinmu duking it out. Fitz comes up, Trump finds the kill, dash in. Both of the supports spotted now up onto the high ground in the window. Prophet pinging that one out. 2 ticks surrendered.
2 ticks.
They still wait for
Gaga's
Gaga.
Back,
I mean, they're pulling away. They're backing away.
They have to go if they want to go now, but they're not going to go now. They have indeed, like you say, pulled away Gaga. Not in position. Gaga, to me, would have to come through from the bottom entrance or at least drop through window. He would probably be hacked instantaneously. Chengdu Hunt is very much just valuing the archway hold early on instead of going for any sort of retake scenario. Have to compliment Fitz there for the opening pick and hack onto Gaga that enables that, and now Prophet does very much the same on the beat. Attack.
Prophet looking a hell of a lot better. Does get rail shot there by Leave. Finds that elimination, but I mean, you look at the ult charge between Prophet and Jinmu, and the fact that Prophet is nearly beating him out with that towards a Dragon Blade versus a Tracer is pretty damn impeccable. Monk finishing things off with a nice pick on the Fitz EMP, 12% away though.
That's a lot of the dashing through 3 members on the sort of balcony hallway area on Kings Row A. Also looks over towards B. Jinmu having needed to play very defensively after losing A quite quickly as well. And once again, Gaga is just going to get targeted here with Bubble gone. Hard for Chengdu to make any sort of engage, but they're very close to ultimates. Fitz now setting up for EMP going the back way.
On the hunt. Sees Leave sliding by. Pulse bomb out from Jinmu, not going to find a pick. Jump out the window. There you go. EMP's in. Instantly Leave is greeted with a bio nade. Gets taken down. Nisha falls shortly thereafter. The hand of Fitz. Gaga now just trying to make his exit. Jumps back up here onto the high ground. Fitz just stealing away the Mega Pack, making sure they can't play off of that one. Should be a little bit of cleanup. Yep, as Gaga will inevitably fall. The cart can continue pushing. So that's about 1 minute and 20 seconds, minute 30 dealt with here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, but breaking through that initial archway control is absolutely paramount here for Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah. And that was a very timing intensive kind of position for Seoul to be in as well, because they had the EMP up and Chengdu just did not. In terms of any ultimates, right? We have Jinmu and Leave kind of just a little bit off there. Nisha was on about 98, 99, so couldn't quite counter the nano or at least make any sort of counterplay to allow Gaga to dive on in. Now Hunters do have something to play through, but Seoul Dynasty still holding to Nano Blade, so still a tricky situation. Monk has to counter this.
Well, he does. I think it forces his hand to grab early, though. Yeah, there'd be a really big window here for the side of the Dynasty once more. 5 ultimates nearly built up here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. It's going to be the Nano actually going on to the Smurf, so it will not be a Nano Blade. grab online. Gaga can be antied out, pops the primal to stay alive. Leave on the other side, overclock at the ready. Finds Iris, but Nisha gonna be taken down. Now Monk is out of the fight as well. Vinham able to snipe him. Both supports gone, now Lee picked off. That's everything in the kitchen sink thrown at this point here by both squads, but it's the Dynasty still standing at the end of it all.
And I'm surprised by the trans usage there. I think Hunters were pressured out, but it's just Smurf rocking up with the Nano. Prophet didn't even receive the Nano to play with the Nano Blade. Smurf hadn't actually used the grab yet, so Monk pulling trigger early gives permission for both those players to eventually play through their ultimates, and Prophet in particular carved through the Chengdu Hunters with very little resistance afterwards. Leave did get a counter trade via his Nano Clock, but not quite enough to stop the Seoul Dynasty. And as you say, all ultimates that were available basically expended. I think Jinmu might have held there. And as we approach C point, just under 4 minutes, could be a pretty good time bank for the Seoul Dynasty. Next EMP can roll them through with a snowball.
Yeah, he's the only one to hold, but he was also the last one to build it up. EMP again at the ready here from Fitz. Sat down below, and it's an instant collapse on the Gaga. Everybody piling in, and this is the Dynasty that we have come to know and love. Looking a lot more like themselves right now on this attack. Chengdu Hunters need to find some semblance of stability here pretty soon. Jinmu still holding on to the pulse bomb, just waiting for a moment. Everybody's clustered up into that right-hand side room. If he can get himself in there, it's potential for a multi-man, but no, lets it loose, looking for Fitz. Won't find him. Fitz gets away scot-free.
Look, Assault, they have control on that right side or left if you're looking from this POV. Currently, they can rotate directly onto the back line of the Chengdu Hunters if they want. Gaga sees that, trying to block Jinmu. Looking for any opportunity to dive on in, but it's just so difficult. Seoul Dynasty have this very effective bunker in place on that side area of the map. Prophet's the only one that's low, but bubbled up and safe. At least Chengdu have held Seoul Dynasty at bay, waiting for Bob, waiting for Nano from Eris as well on the opposite end. Seoul Dynasty likely to push off this Nano, probably can't afford to wait for a Blade just yet.
Looking for the hack on the Leave, and Leave shuts it down. Prophet just could not get there fast enough. Now the Nano's been expended by Eris, and I don't know if Prophet's going to be able to do too much with it. Gaga drops down here onto the point. Like going out. Prophet just has to kite back, so they absolutely... Seoul Dynasty think that they have the trap set, but Chengdu Hunters, they can snare the Dynasty instead.
Yeah, so fit swapping there as well, so foregoing any sort of EMP to come up. And as I mentioned, Eris just needed to play for the Nano. That was the only opening that Seoul had, and Seoul were burning the candle right down to its base as they start to run out of time. I mean, look, there's still 2 minutes, but they lose all sort of tempo. And Hunters, what an outplay from Leave, and they get to hold on to all their ults, again, including this Bob. Yeah.
The Prophet taken down, slows up the Dragon Blade that he's about to have. Buy some more time still. Granted, it's going to be a minute and 50 seconds remaining here for the side of the Dynasty, so it's not like it's an OT situation. Chengdu Hunters still have their work cut out for them, but the ults that they have been able to amass here just through the neutral fighting, it's looking rather good for them to be at least able to bring this clock down further. Fitz is dead.
Just more picks to come through. 5 ults for Hunters. They're consistently finding individual picks. Jinmu's able to land these dives in there. Seoul Dynasty doing very little to be able to hold on to their members. Prophet could be next there. He's committed further forward. Chengdu should maybe think about collapsing.
Let's see. Recall going to be burned there. Jinmu trying to stay alive. Still just holds on to the pulse. You know what? Haven't found the prime opportunity to go ahead and use it. Just keeps it in his back pocket for a rainy day. Fitz again is going to be dead. They catch him up on the high ground. Jinmu finds a kill. Dashes forward, looks for the pulse bomb stick. Not going to be able to get it this time around. Anti-Ant, one of the supports the side of the Dynasty. They do stay alive.
Nano, there it is.
Nano boost now going to be invested. There's the blade pulled from Robin. They sound bury him up as well. He looks to get on top of Nisha. The Sleep Dart comes across. Nisha shuts him down. Now they look for the kill, and Monk is going to have it with the help of Leave. They've got the Nano himself, and everything just comes tumbling down continuously here for the side of the Dynasty. They are struggling to gain another inch.
They are consistently on a 4v5. Fitz is first in multiple fights in a row, cannot link up with his own team. They play for the Nano play. Seoul Dynasty, their hand is forced because Hunters, they're saying, screw it, we are going to collapse on top of the Seoul Dynasty. Double support ultimates burned there by the Dynasty, and the Nano Blade is shut down by Nisha. Chengdu Hunters, their supports are on a different level today.
Still low energy here for the side of Smurf, trying to build that one up. The overclock going to be popped by Fitz, looking for a target. Everyone just widely eluding him, though. Doesn't manage to find any eliminations. Gaga again diving forward, goes to contest the cart. It's going to get pushed away. Is antied out as well. The grab online, Smurf holding it. Xerus tries to get ready for this next Nano. The grab's going to be lobbed in. They get on top of the 2 that were picked off. Xerus, in the meantime, going to be felled by Jinmu. The pulse bomb finds the kill. Fitz, however, well, he makes up for it in the end, it would seem. Dead first in every single fight leading up to this point. Finds 3 in the final one. Jinmu's still desperately trying to keep this cart locked in position. He does so for a damn long time, but as he goes down. There's no one else to take his place, so the cart will eventually glide into the finish. But man, what a hold from the Chengdu Hunters. They were getting brutalized on the first 2 points, and as soon as it turns the final corner, they just do not let that cart move for minutes at a time.
Do you remember what the time bank going into C was? It was above 4 minutes based on memory, about 4:15 at
Something
least,
like that.
if not 4:30. It was a very monstrous looking time bank. But Seoul Dynasty, I think what happened there, and you have to remember as well, most of what actually occurred on C before Seoul started losing fights was just the lack of tempo, because they had suddenly lost all their ultimates, they didn't know how to play in towards further fights, and this grab was really what saved them at the end of the day to allow them to come on through. And even then, Jinmu stayed alive for an ungodly amount of time. He forced the OT, and he nearly allowed his team to get a full wave of respawns. If it wasn't for the OT to respawns being much slower, Chengdu would have had their full wave come back in and possibly have held. But to once more backtrack to what I was talking about previously, we look towards the opening areas of C. Chengdu just played that one very quietly, very slowly. Seoul had no further ultimates to play through. And what little they did have, you know, they tried to play through, did get shut down. Individual members started getting kills from the Chengdu Hunters. Jinmu was able to get Fitz down, I believe, twice in a row. Gaga might have gotten one of those, actually. Nanoblade was eventually shut down as well. Yeah, and it's Seoul Dynasty being reset multiple times off just one death alone, and then when they did make ultimate plays, they were shut down. So Chengdu Hunters, again, except for the Smurf grab, everything was going the way of Chengdu on the defense.
That was. Now, let's see how they fare on the attack. Smurf playing up just behind the statue here. Jinmu doing some poking prodding, gets himself up onto the high ground. Just continue to try to chip away where possible. Dynamite from Leave, not going to be finding too much of anything here. It's a little bit of pressure out onto him as Smurf just tries to hold the front line. Jinmu getting beamed down lower and lower, but gets out of range, so they won't be able to find the finishing shot. Smurf is energyless right now. And
that's
there's an opener. Yeah, Leave gets Fitz. The Sombra now out of the mix. Trying to keep Smurf alive. Dash up onto the high ground. Jinmu looking to contest. Prophet finds himself stuck in the corner for just a brief moment. Takes the dash out. Manages to escape. First tick to be surrendered, though.
Seoul can retake. Smurf is in position. They're going to go for this one. They have Eris maybe onto a nano soon. Nisha's there far quicker. At minimum, Seoul is going to force Nisha to pop. Jinmu might have a solo kill here. If he can get Vinde, that would be huge.
Monk dead. Huge pickup there from Fitz, but the second tick still going to be grounded. All the same here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. They're still gaining value, playing this far forward despite the casualty. That's going to be the nano now invested. Gaga goes jumping in. Probably going to be taken down. He's looking for a little bit more. Looks for Iris. The dive is there. Jinmu backs him up. They find the pickoff. Two members now down on the side of the Seoul Dynasty. Nano out onto Smurf as he desperately tries to build up something, but they've lost the plot. They lost the point, and now it's 5 minutes of the time bank for the Chengdu Hunters.
And that was nearly awesome for the Seoul Dynasty, but somebody woke Gaga up. He was nanoed, and had that not have happened, I don't think Gaga could have made the future dive onto Eris as well, taking him down off the back of then also Jinmu linking up on the same dive. And look at this, Fitz's EMP. So if Seoul were able to keep Gaga, if they had kept Gaga down, played through the EMP, I believe they would have held A. However, Chengdu leave with heroics, giving them the initial pick onto Fitz to start the push onto A to begin with, get them the 2 ticks for free. Seoul step off the payloads for a little bit because they can contest, and it's gone. Fitz now looking for EMP.
Okay, goes for it. Prophet dashes in, finds Gaga off the rip. Once more, going to be punished. Quick little kill here, and that's exactly what the Dynasty need if they want to establish archway control. I was going to mention that, you know, Smurf dying last crucially costs them being able to get into this position, but with the EMP, they do allow themselves to get set up far forward. Okay,
and Hunters is going to have to spend big to get through here. Could be just a bob to allow them to initially push up. There it is. Now Hunters have to push.
Goes straight in past Smurf. Sleep going to go out into the bomb to grab, trying to catch some people here in the archway. Smurf, however, still has to back up. The Transcendence is there. From Monk to try to keep everybody alive, and him now going to be taken down. I think he just Ajaxed the beat. I didn't see the shields go out. I think he might have just lost the whole damn thing.
You're correct. Yep,
and the cleanup is there as Monk crushes 2. Gaga still in the back lines, looking for a little bit of extra stagger, and he will find it. Iris dead. The cart completely broken wide open. Now it's just storming through the streets.
And that's Blade held as well. Seoul Dynasty at least did a good job of preventing the bomb from getting additional value off the sleep. but it still allows Chengdu to break the stranglehold and get them through the archway, which is the important thing. And now that they are through the archway, they can start making some real progress. With Leave down, though, Seoul Dynasty have a 5v4 window. Are they going to be forced to pop Blade? You can also see, by the way, long flank from Fitz. Hack Jimu.
Catches him there for just a moment. Fitz can find some extra kills. We saw him just take down Leave a moment ago. It'd be huge. Drop down Prophet landing on top of Nisha. Immediately just carves his way through 3. Nice little play from him with the blade. That will certainly slow the roll of the Chengdu Hunters here. So much needed, but that's the ult's expended. Yep. Fitz now trying to build up for the EMP, so the Dynasty have another thing to work with.
Prophet feeling thankful that the Nisha sleep dart went wide this time. You did see it from Prophet's POV, and that gave Prophet full permission to be able to get the double kill onto the back line. And onto Leave as well, but Hunters will hold. They actually couldn't respond with their own Nano Blade yet. I believe Nisha was on 99. So this is going to have to be the fight with Jimu hacked out. They'll wait. They know the Nano Blade is coming through. Solar should be spacing with this one. You can actually see the team is kind of split at the moment. Prophet on towards that right side flanks. They want to make sure they're spaced well enough. And by the way, Smurf should be holding bubbles at the moment. When Jimu Nano Blades, Smurf will commit those bubbles with the back line.
It's going to need to be Johnny on the spot with them. Nano out, goes on the Leave. EMP strikes, finds both the supports. Fitz and Prophet manage to get it done. Jinmu out, still with the blade pulled. Finds one, they're fighting back. They traded a 2 for 2. Still supportless though on the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Leave falling. Means that a lot of the firepower gone. Dashing in, Jinmu trying to get the best of Iris, but he manages to shut him out at the end. Gaga still chasing forward, still trying to find this Ana. But the peel is there, and Iris manages to come up with the kill as he goes off the side of the map.
It's good defense there by the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, great positioning from the supports as well. Let's take a look at Nisha's POV here. He received most of the brunt of the pressure, and as a wrong person, Leave unfortunately gets in the way there. Jinmu doesn't receive the nano, and that is the end of that. Both the supports of Chengdu ended up falling in that fight as well. It's one of those really unfortunate situations, and that can be quite costly. To be fair, though, Vindame also lost a beat, so it's about 1-to-1 here in terms of whipped ultimates.
It's a big interception. They're from Leave.
Friendly
Smurf
interception.
Yeah. Smurf now holding
Your
on.
linesman gets in the way.
Cut around the back, Fitz. Spotting Monk, goes for the hack. Tries to find the kill. They want to get within that hack window. Can't quite make it happen, so Monk stays alive, still has the Transcendence at the ready.
Time is a big issue now. 30 seconds remaining and less to go.
Yeah.
Grav to come through from Smurf can be counterable by Monk, but we're looking for openings from Hunters. What can they open with? Has to be the overclock. Nano Blade online for Soul now as well. Big job for Monk to do. He has to counter 2 big ultimates, 3 including the Nano. All spotted by Fitz. Revealed, by the way.
Nano Blade pulled. He's looking for the kills. The Transcendence is there. Tried to deny, but no, there's so much damage output on Tanisha. They managed to find the kills, and that is going to be it. Dynasty. Guilty will be forced out, but you've got several people occupying the cart. The cleanup comes through. What a beautiful point B defense here from the side of the Dynasty. Just continuously slowing things up, one pick after another, just chipping away at that time bank until it drains down to 0. 5 minutes to start with as well for the side of the Chengdu Hunters for that Streets Face push. The Dynasty looking certainly reinvigorated as they swap sides. Now they tie up this series 1-1.
Yeah, Chengdu, man, they had Gaga on 98% on that final fight there as well, but the damage was done. Prophet with the Nano Blade, even with Monk's Transcendence rolling, cuts through Nisha, preventing the Nano Blade. You can see it was a 91, I believe, towards a Nano onto Nisha, or it could have been a Nano anything, really. Nano to Gaga would have been preferable there, but Seoul Dynasty, you have to remember, A and B is where they made their money. C might have gone poorly for them, but if they hold Chengdu, prevent the C point from even happening, it doesn't matter. Seoul will have it locked down, and that's going to be map 2, done and dusted.
Well, tied up 1-1, Dorado on the horizon for our escort map. And if I remember, last time I think these guys played against each other on Dorado, there was quite a few highlights that were to be had. Well, hopefully we're going to be in for the same treat, because Chengdu Hunters, well, the attack leaves a bit to be desired, still are very much in this game and can go ahead and turn things around. We'll see if they manage it, or we'll see if the Seoul Dynasty can continue on, try to close this out as they get to match point when we come back from the break. So don't go anywhere, guys. Chengdu Hunters versus the Dynasty continues in just a few. All tied up 1-1 with the Seoul Dynasty being able to take King's Row. Now we turn our sights over to Dorado for our escort map and see who is going to be able to take the lead, take this to match point, and potentially close this series out 3-1.
And it was a very good look for Chengdu early on for Busan, a 2-0 scoreline there, and Seoul Dynasty strike back fervently onto King's Row, where they complete the map with a little bit of struggle. A 4-minute plus time back on C ends up eroding down to just 0, but then they complete a B-point defense, and that is enough to enable them a map win. And Chengdu Hunters, unfortunately, were not able to get any more distance there. Some unfortunate ultimates that went awry for them, as well as just a lot of pressure onto Gaga and the rest of the Chengdu Hunters from the Sombra hacking, from Prophet getting some good value there as well. Smurf doing a great job supporting his backline. I think doing a better job with that on the Zarya than he did with the D.Va onto Busan. So, you know, moving forward could be more Zarya. But as we head towards Dorado, our third map, I gotta think, you know, this is potentially where Seoul have to think about going back to the bread and butter of Smurf, Winston, Prophet, Tracer. That's it's been how they've gotten a lot of success in previous stages. It's one of their strongest comps on 2 of their strongest heroes, respectively, per player. And Dorado is the perfect map to do that. Otherwise, I think we could see some potential D.Va on some of those points, because you are looking at high ground, low ground play. But if you are Smurf, really, to me, it's still got to be the Winston. So that's my biggest question.
I'll have to just wait and see. Also would love to see some more Widowmaker battles here. Fitz leave, always a good one to go ahead and spot out, but we'll see if it comes down to that. But the Winston seems like pretty much an assured thing. I'll just wait and see, though. But Chengdu Hunters probably
certainly
feeling
pretty
damn good. I'm gonna say Chengdu Hunters probably feeling pretty damn good after that first map, but a bit of a clock back there from the side of the Chengdu Hunters, catching them in the jaw with a right hook. Let's see if they're still going to be reeling from it, if they will be able to stabilize.
I'm going to be a little bit concerned about New Queen Street there as well, because once we get to a push map where I think Zarya becomes stronger, we're looking towards Reaper gameplay as well. Things can only get more difficult for Gaga, as you have to remember, we haven't even seen a Reaper come through for Seoul just yet, so the Winston doesn't have to even deal with that, despite all the other pressure on board. That is very likely to come through on push. So if Chengdu can't win this one, and I don't particularly favor them on New Queen Street, the series could end there. So to me, Hunters have to kind of bring it back to us to go to a 2-1. That way they have the safety net of losing New Queen Street, taking us to a map 5.
I mean, just historically, the New Queen Street, I might have misspoken about it last week, but yeah, Coliseo, you always pretty much favor the Chengdu Hunters. New Queen Street, the record is not good. So we'll see what happens once we get there. Need to definitely improve on that map, though, all the same. But here's the opening fight. So you will have that Winston v. Winston action coming through, as expected.
And we have our outer players back on their main heroes here as well, as both Eris and Monk will be playing that one. And then Damon Nisha going towards the Briggs. First battle is going to be Fitz versus Nisha, but Leave gets first blood.
Yeah, just going to be able to get a nice little headshot there. Prophet take it down. Anti was out on the 2 as well. Just play back over towards the spawn room. Door is open. Him and Smurf do manage to stay alive as Fitz continues to try to harass out. Build up for that EMP.
Fitz low. Seoul Dynasty will be holding ground for now. That is a great shot from Smurf for Leave. I think Leave might have even slid in the wrong direction as well. That is going to be a costly mistake, allowing Seoul to push forward, and Chengdu have to give up space.
A big opening frag there. Smurf is going to be held at bay for a brief little moment there by the Antis. Prophet trying to get himself back into the mix of things. Catch up as far as the vault charge is concerned. 47%, so it is slightly ahead of Leave towards that overclock.
Jimmy Pulse.
Yeah, Pulse not going to find anything. It's a rather rapid build for him as well.
Eris Nano coming up next as well. That will be the play onto Smurf, and Monk cannot hold on. 11 away. Seoul would do well to just play for the Nano straight away. There it is.
Okay, Nano's up to Smurf. Instantly gets on top of Monk. Strikes him down before a Nano of his own can come through. Now dives into the back line. Some pressure applied here. The remaining members of the Chengdu Hunters who are desperately trying to get themselves over to point A, but now with Jinwoo taken down, there's just no hope, so they will once again concede the point A cap.
And Smurf, I believe, he's done a great job of staying alive as well. Yeah, 0 deaths. He's been low multiple points. I mean, he's been critical HP, but doesn't quite go down. And that's the kind of difference as well, which allows Eris to get that extra healing. I'm not saying Gaga has, because Gaga's also on 0 deaths. He hasn't died either. But with Leave falling right at the beginning of A, after a bit of skirmishing, Leave also did find first blood, but sliding towards Smurf, getting sniped by the Winston laser. Then Chengdu giving up a lot of space. Era's having already had more nano boost. Sol can just snowball quite comfortably. Jinmu now on towards an Echo to play through for this beat. Spotted by Fitz, already on the high ground. Looking to EMP the backline, has to wait for Smurf to dive in as well.
Oh, sees the supports. They're trying to spy check.
Detected.
He's been detected. Pulls the trigger on it, catches them both, and there's Smurf immediately. The drop of the hat, he arrives. Leaf going to be grounded there for a brief little moment. Smurf is able to chase in. He just continues to rack up kill after kill. Jinmu only able to peel off one.
And Chengdu walk away from that one with 4 ultimates, which is not a good thing. That sounds like a compliment. It's really not. It means that they have unfortunately not been able to start a fight at all. You can see that Payload has been moving the entire time. And now Hunters have to blow their entire economy, potentially to hold this one, at least half of this economy, if not more. Nano for sure.
Here's basically playing off on this flank angle by himself, and they still can't quite find him. Sleep Dart shuts down the dive. Don't get a full punish, though.
Fitz now looking for the next target. Look, the payload's still moving. Hunters needs to get on top of this payload.
3 minutes remaining as we're getting ready to just go ahead and cap this one at B. Smurf pulls the trigger first, goes in, primal pop. Gaga now trying to match, trying to find a target, trying to juggle anybody into a corner that he can possibly get, but he's just not able to find it. He just ends up dying. The nano's not there, as you say. Monk cannot keep him alive. Smurf going to be taken down, however. Profit making up for it, dashes through, finds a 2-for-1, looking for a little bit more. The final swipe will go ahead and finish off Jinmu. And that is going to be the extended team kill coming in as the Dynasty now have 4+ minutes for the final stretch of Dorado.
Yeah, it's a repeat of King's Row all over again, which again is not a good situation for Hunters, despite the heroics of C-point defense. Because the time bank is immense here. And Chengdu did not win King's Row, and Seoul Dynasty have had perfect snowballing the entire way through. Hunters didn't get to use ults 2 fights ago, saved them for a final fight. Didn't get the value on them anyway. Nano held that. That should have gone to Gaga. When Gaga is almost in the primal, I think you nano him straight afterwards. He gets to play through the nano after the primal runs up and gets to stay alive and hold ground. And Hunters had no ability to also stop Prophet's Blade, so no ability to hold on the payload, no ability to go offensive. Gaga down again. Sol continues snowballing.
Yep, just solo EMP to kill off Gaga. Seems to work every time. Fitz just in the back line, picking out some positions. Looks at the hack there on the Nisha. Doesn't quite get it. Nisha manages to turn, raise the shield. Keeps himself protected from the dive.
We're on the final fight.
There we are. Or at least the first of several if the Chengdu Hunters can win this first one out.
And Jinmu's on a Sombra as well, but it's just coming so late. He's got the hack onto Smurf. Can they do anything with that so far? No.
Leave just desperately trying to get some headshots across.
Ult charge. I mean, he's getting the ult charge right. Bob is not that far away. That's a small relief for the Chengdu Hunters.
Nice anti out. Nano in response on a Smurf, but Gaga again. There's just no bailouts for him. He just ends up getting taken down. Profit finds that kill, gets leave. Jinmu's dead, and that's the cap. 2.5 minutes. Just about. Somebody touched the cart. There you go, Profit. All right, well, they lost 2 seconds from what could have been. But, yeah. 2 minutes, 27 seconds for the Dynasty as they finish the map.
Yep.
0-3.
Right.
And that's Jinmu, by the way, on EMP and leave on 99 Bob. So again, the timing of Del Sol Dynasty has been impeccable, and Chengdu have been slightly behind at the crime scene every single time. They can never catch this killer. In Sol Dynasty, they've been killing it on this map, on the previous one also, and potentially this series as well. As I've already looked ahead to New Queen Street and done a little bit of pre-analysis on that one, saying that I think Seoul's compositional choices will be stronger than Chengdu's on New Queen Street. So this map is, to me, quite important for the Chengdu Hunters to be able to bounce back and gain a lead on. So far, that's just not been the case from A to B to C. I don't think Hunters realistically won a single fight. Maybe we could throw them a bone and say that opening leave headshot, first blood, was kind of
hardly
that's
a
like
fight.
A skirmish win. That's like a skirmish win, right? So you give them, you throw them a little bone there. You know,
that's one person dead.
But for Seoul Dynasty, aside from that, they pushed through from A to C flawlessly, uninhibited. They were ahead on very specific ultimates and the timings of which at all points, and perfect dive in the EMP Smurf combo on the B point bridge, as we pointed out, and otherwise just nullified the value of Chengdu's ults entirely on that B defense.
Well, once more into the breach we go. See how they fare now on the attack. It was a very strong start for them on King's Row before the works got gummed up going in towards B. It's just hunting around the flank, spots Gaga, goes for the hack, finds it. Start piling some damage in onto him as they look for the dive. And Fitz fortunately has that translocator, otherwise he was going to be going off the side of the map.
Well, Soul Dynasty will just wait out Smurf's hack here. Payload distance has been quite slow, given that both Smurf and Fitz and Prophet have been kind of assaulting that payload ever so briefly. Small windows there. Prophet is very far up on ult charge, so we're going to look at quick pulse bomb here. Nice Byronade as well.
It catches him right before he goes for the dive. No punish to be found though. Jinmu forced back as Fitz has taken the lead in the EMP race. Just get spotted, however,
Monk
has to
has
make his leave.
Monk has his nano on board as well. This is very similar to what we saw from Eris on the attack as well. It's the attacking Ana advantage. It's a 10% advantage at this rate. And look, if Monk pulls the trigger early, Soul can do very little to stop this, except for Pulse from Prophet, making a difference. So that is going to be key now, as the nano should come through ASAP.
Oh, they're clustered up. He's looking for it. He's got the stick, and it's both supports taken out by Prophet. Just casually identifies their position, now looks for the finish on the Gaga, and he has got it. A 3K for Prophet in the fight. Leave, doesn't make it out. Four kills. Where was this?
You forgot about Prophet DPS. You forgot about the Prophet DPS. Everyone's like, hey, this break play is like kind of okay at DPS. No, this is Prophet. Don't forget. Here's the impact of that kill though. The 4K coming through from Prophet, but especially the 2 on the Pulse and the double supports of the Chengdu Hunters. First of all, we have a positional disadvantage as Hunters now lose all that forward positioning, have to push through. They're going to be up against EMP, but Eris has also mashed Monk now, so there's no longer a free window of nano advantage for Monk that did exist for Eris on their 8-point attack.
Okay.
4v5 though.
Great hack. The Prophet does get taken down because of that one. Gaga able to dive back in. They find the kill. Leave holding on to the pulse bomb of the zone now needs to come up huge. EMP only catching Gaga, but this time there's just not enough throughput of the damage to try to actually get a punish there. But he does just manage to shrug that one off. Oh, pulse bomb stick is in. Eris going to be taken out. Nicely done there by Lee. Vinhame as well, zoned out all on his lonesome. They know exactly where he's at, and he is going to fall. Rally popped by Nisha. I don't know if this is necessary in the fight, but they definitely want to make sure they can secure this here. And with Smurf just having his corpse sent into the stratosphere, they absolutely have it. So 3:45 in the time bank. Not too bad here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters, but they need a very fast second phase of the map.
It's a recovery for sure. Fitz just desperate to get away at least. He won't be chased down here. But he is on a bit of a mission. Alright, that's an interesting position. Yeah, he'll just wait for translator kit.
No, but this platform.
He's tricky. Oh my goodness, that's pretty smart. You know what? As a bit of an Overwatch lawyer myself, I'm going to say that is legal.
Yeah,
because he's not doing anything against the law there, from my perspective. Soul have 4 ultimates though. There's one.
Oh, Prophet. Well, Monk just doesn't get to play the game when Prophet has a pulse bomb in hand. It would seem this time Nisha does get spared. Hack on the Gaga. EMP catches pretty damn near everybody. Jinmu able to clean up too. Both supports now going to be out of the fight, and that EMP completely has turned the tide, it would seem. Pushed out of the bubble though. Gaga's still going to be taken down. Prophet able to scoop the kill. It's greeted by a whip shot as he tries to get on top of Nisha. It's now being locked over in towards the Mega Pack. Just knocked around by Smurf. The cleanup kill comes in. Fitz a bit of a casualty as Prophet eludes getting hacked here by Jinmu. He's trying to make his way out, but Leaf manages to come around the front side of the bank. Scoops the kill. Nice alley-oop set up there by Jinmu, pulling attention. The cart inches forward once more.
Salt Dynasty still in this fight. Eris in trouble now. Could die again. Eris needs his nano dead. He needs it badly. It's Vinhame and Eris. Both under pressure here. Both surviving though.
He does, and he gets a rally off. Gaga going to be taken down. And that's going to be the Chengdu Hunters making their exit desperately, trying to retreat as fast as they can. Monk going to get taken down here in the end, though. So they look for a little bit of extra stagger, but it seems like it's just going to be the Ana. Leave in the meantime, trying to force a backdoor here.
There's definitely a pathway for victory here for the Chengdu Hunters, but they need to be capping as soon as possible. We're not thinking about Hunters matching the 227 in the time bank. We're thinking about Hunters being able to cap at all. So they need to survive up against a Nano and EMP play. Also, Prophet will be going for the hunt on the Pulse Bomb. If they can survive against that, and then push on through, capture B and the rest,
can he go?
We're looking at a possibility for the Hunters to finish.
Can he go 3 for 3, finding Monk with these Pulse Bombs? Well, the
How about this double EMP?
About to find him. Yep. Oh, okay. Sleep is there, but okay.
Wow.
He doesn't need the pulse. He has the pulse. He still kills Monk. Doesn't need to use the pulse. Now just holds on to it. Gaga slept here onto the high ground. Fitz translocating forward, trying to get that hack across. Doesn't manage to make it happen. Jinmu, just okay with the Mac 10. Be able to burn down Prophet. Finds that heal. Will be a slight little reset.
Right
Prophet can rejoin quickly.
Style points for Monk getting the sleep dart onto Fitz, but down all the same as the rest of the Seoul Dynasty will collapse on the dive. And now less than 1 minute to go, so likely for Chengdu Hunters, if they finish the map at all, they will be capping B in the OT and capping C in the OT as well. Jinmu now on the hunt with the EMP will spot out Ares. That's one target. He wants both supports though, if possible. Or maybe not, he just wants Smurf.
EMP only gets Smurf pulse bomb from Prophet this time. Not going to connect, so Monk able to live another day. Hack out here on the Jinmu, but he forces Fitz back, just makes him exit. Nice damage coming through from him.
Nano
Trying to
Vinde.
keep themselves in this fight, but now Jinmu going to be taken down. The Nano is out of the good name, as you say. Just trying to keep everybody alive as best as possible. Nano now going to expire, still under a bit of fire, but Smurf with the Primal will find one. Viname eventually crumbling under the pressure. Gaga with the Primal of his own manages to go ahead and bat him away. Fitz now EMP at the ready, lets it loose, and Gaga hits the floor. Leaf taken down as well, cannot escape, and with a couple seconds remaining and no one to touch this cart, there is no OT, there is no hope. It's a 2-0 lead for the side of the Seoul Dynasty.
And it's
2-1 lead, I should say.
almost complete mirror of what we saw in Kings Road. Well, actually, minus the incredible C-point defense. That did not happen on Dorado, but otherwise, we have full map completion from the Seoul Dynasty and then a B-point hold for the Seoul Dynasty on their respective defense. And I got to go back in time again and reassess that Jinmu EMP, the solo onto Smurf. There was no world that was going to... First of all, credit where credit is due. He saw Fitz in that play as well, but Fitz translocated out. Fantastic response from Fitz just to basically reaction translocate out of that one. But Smurf was never going to be in trouble. Eris had the Nano. It was impossible to kill Smurf with that snow. Had you even burned Smurf down, which didn't even happen, didn't even force a Nano, the Nano would have been in play to save him. So that's a bit of a boggling EMP coming through from Jinmu. He had backline instead. He actually saw Eris. I would have accepted a play onto Eris, at least had the support down, removed the Nano from the equation, play the 5v4 from there, but that just wasn't the line of decision making from the Chengdu Hunters, and the final fight on towards B was just not going their way. Had they capped, would have been OT. Chances of finishing the entire map low, but at least possible. They were definitely on the back foot for Dorado, and now we'll have to see what they can do in New Queen Street.
Alrighty, well, pressure mounting. Chengdu Hunters need to win on New Queen Street, the push map that has not been kind to them this year. If they can get a win here, it would be monstrous, and it would allow them to take this into a Game 5. We'll see if they can get it done, or if the Seoul Dynasty will keep holding their heads high at the top of the standings, just adding a little bit more to the top there when we come back to the break, so don't go anywhere. Dynasty able to take the lead, now 2-1 in the series at match point with a very dominant performance on Dorado. Got to the end of the map, managed to get that point B defense. And yeah, like you said, Shades of Kings Row showing up once more. Chengdu Hunters now need to win on New Queen Street as we get ready to go into push if they want to take this to a 5th and final map and have a shot at closing out the series.
And I kind of fear for Chengdu a little bit here. I do wonder what Gaga's compositional choice of hero is going to be. Is he going to stay on the Winston or not? My guess would be probably. Does he want to play the Zarya? The problem is if you play Zarya into Smurf so far, we've seen that Smurf has been the better Zarya. Does Daisy come in? We have to kind of check for substitutions as well. I haven't seen the subs just yet, so no, there it is. So
yes, he does.
Daisy does come in. That does change a couple things. Daisy Zarya is now suddenly on the cards, and I think that would probably end up being the play. All else equal, this could still be I don't know if it'll save Chengdu just yet. I think Daisy actually proved in the last match that he was in, he had a very significantly strong Sigma versus Fury Sigma, which is no easy thing to do. And now he'll be tested versus Smurf. I think there's still a lot of equally strong gameplay across the board on the other players. I think Jinmu has probably been a bit behind Fit so far in Sombra today. Leave has had some moments of Tracer better than Prophet. Prophet has also had moments of Tracer better than Leave. So that one's gone, at least in my opinion, fairly equal.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the the individual performances goes, I don't think that's the biggest concern here. It's just how Chengdu went from looking so well gelled, so well oiled on that first map of Busan to then kind of stumbling. Whereas the Dynasty have been able to do the inverse. They looked completely out of sorts, and then they really rallied back and managed to look just so damn clean.
I have a bit of an explanation for that. One is that I actually think Seoul had the advantage on Mecha Base, but they kind of ruined it by flubbing in important fights. Smurf kind of being caught solo in the bridge below. That really cost them that point, I feel. Also, they just didn't touch and it was OT. But Diva on Sanctuary, I guess it's something, but that's not really what Smurf is known for. But beyond that, I just don't think it apparently gave Seoul a lot of impetus to get dives going, to get any sort of plays going, and certainly not strong enough to beat Monk and Nisha. So opening sleep on a Jinmu, but he's okay.
Smoking up, Smurf gonna fall. Daisy finds the kill. Prophet in the meantime did manage to get leave, and now Jinmu's gonna be taken down, so it's DPS-less here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Tankless for the Dynasty. They try to force Prophet off the side of the map. Not going to work, however. Bot does get taken for a brief little moment. 0.55 meters set up, and there you go. It's all over. Chengdu Hunters have gotten an insurmountable
Stop the count.
Distance.
Stop the count.
Yep.
Pause the
Fast
game right
forward
now.
the next 9 minutes.
Well, so far we are back in towards a stalemate. The important thing to note here is that Daisy did retain a little bit of energy. It's not a lot, like 20, 15 here, and rapidly descending Smurf will be building back towards the energy. They should be about equal now. Chengdu slight height advantage. Daisy in trouble though, no support.
Not at all. Does end up falling. Now it's going to be Fitz taken down. Prophet dies. We'll have the complete inverse of the last fight and how that one started. And he is under fire, and he is dead. So it's going to be the DPS on one side for the tank on the other. Still very much a neutral fight. Okay.
What really goes wrong there for Daisy is that he's the only one on payload contesting. The rest of his team is above, which is fine, but no LOS from support. So once Daisy's under pressure, Nisha and Monk chose not to, could not, was not able to help him at all. And now looking at ultimates coming online. Fitz and Eris plus Monk.
Bot still pushing forward here. Still small numbers that we're talking about at the moment, but if the Chengdu Hunters can win out the fight, then they can definitely make this a bit of a larger figure for them. Nano goes out on the both of the Zaryas, but Smurf is able to put to use here first and foremost. Finds Jinmu. Now the grab going to be online. Hack on the Daisy. Bubble himself. Prophet dashes across. Manages to find that elimination. Now the Dynasty have broken things open for themselves. Just the Nano invested. And they rack up 4 other ults to use in the future fights.
Well, you saw there as well, the Nanos coming through onto both the Zaryas, but Hunters, they were lacking at least a couple more in terms of Jinmu, I believe, was just below Blade. Leaf obviously still on 95 here. And had, Hunters, were they able to just pull back slightly, Nisha speed them back, Monk play for the Nano Blade, I think that would have been a much more successful fight for the Hunters, given that Eris already burned the Nano and Smurf. And now Jinmu goes for it, but it gets EMP'd.
Yeah, I mean, both Genjis, both just going to get evaporated with sound barrier out on either side. Neither can survive the grab. Smurf manages to find 2. Nisha and Leave now taken down. 100 energy for him as Daisy is desperately trying to fight back, but just can't do a damn thing, even when that nano layered in from Monk. The bot going to continue pushing forward. The checkpoint will be found.
And that is a pivotal fight, rather, to lose for Chengdu, as no contest there. They'll have to be waiting for a little bit longer. And despite both Genji's being burned, Achilles, Prophet still holds on to Blaze. That's still a net loss for the Hunters, all else equal, because we did play for sound barriers, play for double grabs there as well. Seoul Dynasty win. I think the only thing Seoul lose is the fact that, okay, because they did actually lose a couple members, they do have to kind of wait for the respawners. Now that they have 5 together, play for this Nano Blade and they can go for it. Ares just 15% off, now 9.
Closer and closer to it. There you go, overclock now going to be popped. Leave trying to force them back, and it looks like the Dynasty widely happy to make their exit for now. Smurf going to be nanoed up again. Prophet dead. Yeah, they do. Prophet's the one who dies. Jinmu with a nice little pick, but Smurf finds Daisy. It's not without cost here from the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Can't just find the pick and get out. Jinmu dead as well.
Can Seoul get enough distance off this? They lost 1 member, right? So they will have to eventually play the 4v5, and Hunters will be able to regroup for it. But currently meterage is being found. We're going to get above 70 here for sure. It is very interesting that Seoul have now repeatedly not played for the Nano Blade, go for the Nano onto Smurf as well. It does give them kills, but it does forfeit Prophet. Waiting for Grav and EMP to come through next. It's the next ability for them to actually be able to snowball.
Blade pulled from Prophet. He's dead. Tried to get on top of Nisha. The bubble was there from Daisy. They keep protected, and the Monk just snipes him down. Beautifully done by Monk. Now the ear is dead as well. This is going to be a good amount of distance here for the Chengdu Hunters to try to get into a push position. Still long, really big amount of space to try to close out, but a nice shot from Leave to finish off Fitz as well.
I just think that was optimistic from Seoul. I mean, without Nano Blade, a bubble can only do so much for Prophet. And he can't even get away. He actually spent his dash to try and go backwards, still killed in mid-dash anyway. And for Seoul Dynasty, they could have just played that one patiently. They have EMP plus Grav online. Smurf should know that he's above Daisy anyway. And Seoul Dynasty, had they just played that one and waited for those 2 ultimates and not play the Blade, or play the Blade as the tertiary ultimate, the 3rd in priority compared to the first 2, Seoul could have probably have won that and continued pushing.
Blade pulled from Jinmu, finds one. Here is dead. Fitz trying to finish off Leaf, just can't quite make it happen. The name does somehow stay alive. He was under quite a bit of fire there for a while, but keeps himself in the mix. Now has that sound barrier online. Bot again, just being held by the Dynasty, just keeping it locked in a neutral position, not letting the Chengdu Hunters push too much more.
I think 30 meters is kind of acceptable for now, because they can win 2 fights and get a cap, and suddenly the game is open again in 4 minutes. So that's what they're really hoping for. 74 meters is only barely ahead of the cap. It's enough for Seoul to win if they can solidify this defense for the rest of the map and prevent Hunters from reaching a cap. So it really just comes down to Hunters, and if they can snowball this one, sound barrier to block the grab.
It throws it down. EMP now comes across. Fitz helps take down Daisy. Gets the kill. Smurf just continues to advance forward, looking for another target. And Leave and Monk eventually just have to offer themselves up onto Smurf here.
Oh,
actually,
that's a big kill.
Monk will take down Smurf, and that is a huge kill. He had 94 energy.
That's not just that, but it's the respawn distance. That's the one play you can't afford to lose. Vindane has to potentially go back and escort right now. He's actually not going to taxi, so what you notice is because Smurf dies, Seoul have to give up this point, which means they can get no progress at all. They sacrificed that entire fight just off the heroics of Monk. Had Smurf lived, they would have pushed that for sure. They would have gotten distance. At least force Hunters to pull ultimate just to regain payload control. Now Hunters get payload control for free.
Wow. Only a couple extra meters racked up there. Two Hunters keeping themselves very much within this. The rail shot from Leaf not going to connect. Prophet playing just there in the alleyway, keeping the spot locked in position, trying to build up Open Fraud to get that Dragon Blade online. Jinmu pushing forward though. Just charging up here. Gets on top of Iris for a brief little moment. The Sleep does come across. They're trying to find the finishing blow here on the Jinmu, however. Actually, Fitz will manage to get it at the end. So took down Monk moments before that. Gets himself out, but the Chengdu Hunters will finally break through. Get themselves back over the bot. Get themselves pushing here in a brief moment. Fitz just trying to buy some time.
Now,
for everybody else to respawn.
The really cute thing about that from Fitz, not just the blocking of the payload there, but the 2 kills, is we kind of got the opposite situation now, where Chengdu are the ones that are forced to back out. Look how passive their positioning is, because they have to go back for certain taxis. Nisha's bringing Muck back into the fight. Fitz now waiting for EMP. He can definitely catch double supports. The only issue here is that Smurf can't go in.
Okay, EMP opens, gets that sound barrier out of the way. That does give Prophet a window of opportunity, though, as he holds on to this blade. Grab nearly online as well for Smurf. Here's trailing a little bit further behind towards that nano boost, but should have it here in just a brief little moment. Blade going to be pulled by Jinmu, looking for a target, finds one, gets taken down. Smurf pulls the grab just to go ahead and really isolate that Genji. They do find the kill, but the checkpoint getting ready to be obtained here from the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Dynasty, they're starting to fall apart. Everybody dead. That's the checkpoint, potentially a lead now.
And now Monk is the forward spawn. Nisha can go back to get the taxi, and they can play for the full 5v5. They should be able to get Monk back into play by the time that the payload will progress again. And Seoul Dynasty have all 5, so we are fully back into a 5v5. Nisha has been slept. That is a little bit curious. Hopefully, well, they have bubbles to save him, so Daisy should be fine in that sort of situation to do that. Hunters, one more fight, and they can equalize the distance.
And there's the grab. Prophet going to be found. Cannot survive. Blade out of the equation.
Oh my,
Smurf melted. His HP bar absolutely disappeared. What a magic trick from the side of the Chengdu Hunters. Now they're pushing. They can see the victory right there in their eyes. 55 seconds as they look to take the lead. Fitz goes into the back. He got slept for a brief moment, manages to make it out alive, and that's going to be crucial for him.
Okay,
somebody needs to get this touch now.
Soul cannot allow the flip. They cannot allow the flip.
Yes.
At all costs, Soul must stop this flip now. It has to be beat Blade, pull through every single ultimate that they have. If Monk survives, he can nano in response.
All right, beat Blade, Nisha dead, Monk as well going to die. Dicey going to be antied out as Prophet manages to find himself nearly 4 kills. Fitz takes away the last one there. He's looking for Jinmu. They can get this kill. It's a massive stagger for them, but Nisha right there at the spawn room. They help to keep him alive. The forward spawn now going to be lost for the side of the Chengdu Hunters.
All 5.
Everybody has been able to get back into this one. They need to win the
Where's
fight.
Vinde? Vinde was really far forward there. So is Fitz. Okay, they're safe. Bubbles saved them there, but Smurf is full out of bubbles, at least for now. 1 back online. Final fight territory now. Chengdu have to win 2 fights to get this map. Seoul have to win 1.
Fitz, 12% of the EMP, nearly online. Monk getting harassed at the back line, uses the Bionade onto himself to just keep himself in the fight. There's going to be the Nano out on the Jinmu. He's looking for Vinheim. Vinheim, a sliver of HP. The bubble comes in. Smurf keeps him alive.
It ends now.
Vinheim still just going to be hopping around like a madman. The graph nearly built up. Fitz, EMP
Smurf
ready to go.
low, Smurf low.
Under duress. Goes so damn low. EMP going to be used the overclock shot from Lee. Manages to find the kill. Prophet gets on top of him, however. Answers that one back, but the man advantage still going to be there for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. But as I say it, the grab comes in from Smurf, and the cleanup is looking good. Jinmu, the last man standing, will die. The OT will plummet, and the Dynasty will be able to take this map and this series. New Queen Street is theirs, and it's a 3-1 victory over the Chengdu Hunters.
And when all else fails, you can rely on Smurf and Prophet to get it done. Grav, Prophet still up, and the rest of the Chengdu Hunters will melt under the pressure. They, unfortunately, had to win 2 fights in a row to get it across the board to be able to finish this map and get the cap and take us to a 5th and final decider. For the Seoul Dynasty, they had already maintained the lead. They just needed to make sure they prevented the flip. They did so admirably. Beaten Blade combo, beautifully implemented, and for Prophet, 2 to 3 Ks in that fight. And Seoul Dynasty, a closer New Queen Street than I would have hoped for, than I would have thought. I would have imagined Seoul Dynasty would have had a far more one-sided map, but Chengdu kept it close, but not close enough, unfortunately, for them to get a map victory here, so we're not going to be able to go to a map number 5. Hunters, it's a really good effort. I got to say, this was a great game for Hunters, despite losing some things in there that did not go their way, but otherwise, I think Hunters played admirably.
They certainly had their moments that, you know, Kings Row and everything, definitely gonna be feeling a bit sore for that and Dorado, but a good effort for sure on New Queen Street, a map that they have been struggling with this whole year throughout, but they can't quite make it happen. A bit of a rough juxtaposition based on how we saw them perform on that first map versus the rest of the series, or at least the maps in between. But there's still very much hope here for the side of the Chengdu Hunters. While they are at risk of falling down into that 7th position and missing out on everything, it seems like it's nigh impossible for that to occur. But it would be very Chengdu of them if it did happen. Anyway, we'll jump into our player of the match. This one I think was pretty much on the edge between 2 people in particular. But Prophet, the GOAT, he has managed to edge up just a slightly bit more over Smurf to be able to take the award today.
I think when you start to get deeper into the series, you start to really get a hold of Prophet's capabilities on the DPS again. As a reminder to us of why he is first and foremost the GOAT, and second of all, why he is I think, one of the purest of MVP candidates that we do have this year. You know, he's been phenomenal now on 2 roles, played an entire stage of Brig in the Summer Showdown, now comes back in for the Seoul Dynasty on his signature DPSs. I mean, you'll remember this double pulse bomb stick that just did so much damn work for the Seoul Dynasty. I mean, I think that really set the stage for the Seoul Dynasty on this Dorado defense. And, you know, then his Genji heroics across the board on all the maps that he played that, comboing with both Smurf and Fitz for perfect dives. This Blade to save the map, but, you know, Prophet had to get the done on the speed Blade. They only had the 2 ultimates to play through, and they needed value, and they got it. So for the Seoul Dynasty, edging out the Chengdu Hunters, a couple of close affairs there. A couple of maps did go a lot more one-sided. A couple of maps didn't go. Well, one map did not go their way, and at least one of the map was far too close for comfort. But Prophet is the player of the match. He was performing, I think, to the highest degrees in the series, and Seoul Dynasty still in the lead. They might have dropped the map today, but they are still the leading team in this region in the stage.
That they are, just looking impeccable. But you know, they do get that little blemish, I guess, on the record, dropping a map for the first time here in the Countdown Cup qualifiers. So you know, they don't walk away completely unscathed. There is a wound there. But the bleeding has widely been stemmed. A great performance here from the side of the Seoul Dynasty. We'll talk a little bit more about this matchup, though, because we have a game break coming up in just a few minutes, and then we'll set the stage for our second series of the evening. So don't go anywhere, guys. Our faces right back here on your screens in just a moment. Sorry if you don't enjoy that, but it's going to happen anyway.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Upper Deck, the official trading card of the Overwatch League. And by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
And we are back. It's time for a little game break. Serious, if you just missed it, if you're just now tuning in because you're a Shanghai or a Fusion fan, well, you missed a pretty close one overall. We'll ignore some of the snafus that occurred on maps 2 and 3. The Chengdu Hunters started things off very strongly on Busan Dynasty, looking very much out of sorts on that map. But, I mean, what a turnaround. And this is something I think that in the past, we haven't seen too much from the Dynasty Avril, especially, you know, going back to maybe even 2 years ago. Last year, still pretty damn good. But this is looking better than ever for them, where they can actually recover from losses.
I think I didn't really have a lot of doubt. I feel like for the Seoul Dynasty, they've just been a cut above this entire year from start to finish, literally winning kickoff clash and being in multiple finals, despite being the weaker team compared to Shanghai in Summer Showdown, still going 2-4 in the finals, I think is impressive. I kind of want to look at a couple of different things here from Seoul's POV, and mostly that comes down to the changes this team has made composition between week 1 and 2 here. I'm mainly focusing on the tank line, but with some attention being brought to the supports as well, because not only are you seeing Smurf play a lot more of the off tanks, including Zara, even a smattering of the D.Va in there, but we are also seeing double flex support back on the menu for Seoul Dynasty. So Seoul at the moment, to me, are flexing closer towards an NA style of playing double flex support plus off tank than what a lot of other APAC teams have done, which is mainly stick towards the Winston and playing one flex support, one main support as traditional, which is a lot of Chengdu's game plan today. I was maybe a little surprised at Chengdu's lack of a Sombra. I feel like that's actually one of the key differences that allowed Seoul to get so much more done. You know, we gave Prophet the player of the match. Smurf got very, very, I think, justified kudos as maybe the next best candidate for player of the match, and he had a phenomenal series.
Yeah.
But to me, Fitz kind of set the stage for a lot of the success, right? He was the guy laying up that ball for either Prophet or Smurf to get the dunk every single time. The amount of openings that Fitz found off hacks, especially on the Gaga, I noted very clearly that Gaga's gameplay today was heavily impacted. He was solo EMP'd, hacked out as a target at a lot of different points, and burnt down summarily extremely quickly as well. So that you really have to credit Fitz for, and I think the Sombra difference to me really was quite apparent. And you know, at various points, Chengdu also wanted to play Sombra, but Jinmu just swapped to it too late. And even when Jinmu played Sombra, it wasn't up to the same standard as Fitz.
Yeah, I mean, I think just overall a really well-rounded series from the set of the Chengdu Hunters. Granted, I mean, you know, Vindheim, he did have that Ajax in there and whatnot, but it felt like after that first map, that break was more than enough for them to just go ahead and be like, okay, we got our butts kicked. It's time to just focus up. Let's go into map number 2 and play like we normally do, and that's exactly what we saw. Chengdu Hunters, though, they do continue to look quite strong in this meta. Just need to see a little bit more from them to be able to take down, you know, these titanic teams in the region, such as the Dynasty, such as the Shanghai Dragons. We know that they have the capability, they have the skill. It's just about getting it all to mesh on the match day. So it does elude them here today, but especially in that first map and then a couple moments throughout, some great showings from them. But we'll have to keep our eyes trained on them because, like you said, they still very much are at risk of being able to miss out on the play-ins and the playoffs. But enough about that. Let's move on to our second series of the evening. It's going to be kicking off in just a few minutes on the backside of this next break. We've got the Shanghai Dragons going up against the Philadelphia Fusion. Fusion, another one of those teams that is looking to try to earn their spot into that top 3, be able to dodge the play-ins. We'll have to see if they can do it. If they can take down the Dragons, it'll be a very big boon for them. So we'll see if they can get it done when we come back.
There's just so much talent in the league. It is time to announce the Overwatch League MVP nominees.
Season 5 of the Overwatch League has brought with it a new era of Overwatch and a new wave of MVP candidates.
Ooh! No way does he win that! Are you serious? That's what you want to see!
Your 2022 Overwatch League MVP nominees are Lip from the Shanghai Dragons.
Oh, Lip! It's sweet music to our ears!
Hanbin from the Dallas Fuel.
Hanbin is a one-man army at the front!
Kai from the Atlanta Rain.
The hit scan legend Killer AI, it's Mr. Kai.
Smurf from the Seoul Dynasty.
This is 2-time champion Smurf. Oh, that is disgusting.
That's just
so good.
Kevster from the Los Angeles Gladiators.
Oh my! That's perfect from Kevster!
Hardy from the London Spitfire.
What a slam! That's filthy! That's Hardy for you!
Zest from the Philadelphia Fusion.
Zest is hunty.
No one can stop Zest. He's a burglar.
Proper from the San Francisco Shock.
Proper has arrived. It could be one of the greatest rookie performances we've ever seen.
Prophet from the Seoul Dynasty.
And who's going to carry harder? It's going to be Prophet. What can you do when Prophet is this good?
And Shu from the Los Angeles Gladiators.
Shu making a name for himself.
How does he keep doing this?
The winner will be determined by you, along with Overwatch League casters, teams, and the media. Use the hashtag OWLMVP on Twitter and tag your favorite player by their Twitter handle or in-game tag. You can also cast your vote by going to overwatchleague.com/MVP.
What is happening? Oh! Somebody stop him!
Who will be your Overwatch League 5th season MVP? Help decide and cast your vote today. Voting ends October 10th.
And we're back. It's time to go into our second and final series of the evening. This one is going to be the Shanghai Dragons going up against the Philadelphia Fusion. But before we get into that, MVP. Hey, we have the nominations now. It's out there.
Yeah,
it's in
just saw the video.
So, yeah.
You just saw the video. I think that was the first global reveal of the 2022 nominees. So your 10 nominees for the 2022 Overwatch League MVP is Lip, Hanbin, Kai, Smurf, Kevster, Hardy, Zest, Prophet, and Shu. And two of them will be playing in this matchup. We have Lip and Zest on board to the DPSs, one per team on the MVP ballot candidacy. Votes will be opening October. I can't remember that. It was October something. It said on the video.
Eventually.
Go back and watch it. It's on YouTube, fellas. Rewind. You can check it out. I'm sure you've clicked it by now. But Shanghai versus Philly, where, as to sort of reiterate the stakes here, Shanghai locked in playoffs. They're LA bound. They're US bound. They cannot not go to playoffs now. They are automatically qualified. Fusion, though, they are still wanting to lock up at least third place here to get their own automatic qualification. Otherwise, they are guaranteed play-ins.
That they are. Well, we'll go ahead and take a look at the starting at 5 for the side of the Shanghai Dragons, see what they're working with here. They have flipped around a couple different parts in this machine as they've gone throughout the entire season, but it is going to be Bebe and Izayaki for the supporting lineup. And Void there as well in the tank role. The thing that I love the most about when we release, like the MVP information and whatnot, is that there's now more inane nonsense that people can have BS arguments over on Twitter and Reddit. So there you go. Start talking about how Hottie isn't the MVP because your favorite player is,
love him,
and have a very crazy argument that has no value whatsoever.
Something that does get me riled up, though, something that gets me really fired up in a good way, Achilles, in a fantastic way, is the Philadelphia Fusion. Let's take a look.
Oh, yeah.
Nuclear! Zest dashes and instantly finds 3 kills.
Leading the charge for his team. Application, major
Dragons as well, but Fury, excellent Gravitic Flood.
Spark had the numbers, but Bellatrix has the space. The mines! The double kill!
Shot through Aim God. He's looking for the elimination. He goes on the offensive, but Aim God shuts him down. Everybody really low inside of the valley. Nixon gets 2 for himself. Okay. And there they are. You say you get riled up by the Philly Fusion. I'm sure that the fans do as well, but it's not necessarily for good reasons like you claim to have here, Avril. But we'll see how they perform today. It's been a bit of a rough go of it for the side of the Fusion fans, but I think one of the most Fusion things that they could possibly do was lose their previous series and then come into this one and best the Dragons. So we'll see if they're up to task.
It's happened before. It's happened before. I was very impressed, actually, by their win versus the Hangzhou Spark. Look, I understand the Hangzhou Spark are having a few issues right now in terms of what they're doing with their support line, first and foremost. Who's meant to be playing the tank position, right? That's still a big question mark for the Spark. But looking on Fusion side specifically, I was so impressed with Fury, specifically on that Zarya. He received the player of the match in that particular game, and deservedly so. He was just phenomenal. I think that is prime vintage Fury. From even 2018 season, because that was more of a diva game. But now, we're heading into what I think is potentially a strong off-tank meta as more and more teams are leaning towards Zarya or Sigma or Diva, specifically the Zarya, as we saw Smurf just do. Fury is absolutely also at the top of his game on that particular hero. Backed by MN3 and Zest, who, look, if one of them pops off, pocketed by Fury, you're going to have a good time. So I think Fusion have a lot of strengths coming into this particular game. It is still the Shanghai Dragons, but remember, it's the 0-2 Shanghai Dragons who are yet to sort of find their groove of what their position in this meta is, who is meant to be playing, and, what is their general overall strategy, because it's been kind of all over the place in the last 2 matches for this team.
Yeah, it has been. It's been weird because if you told me coming into this meta, what the meta was going to be, that Sombra was going to be seeing a lot of play, I would have been like, okay, Shanghai Dragons are going to be great. If you got Lip right there, so there's no way that they struggle. So if you told me that, yeah, Shanghai Dragons are going to start off this meta 0-2, I just would not believe you. I wouldn't believe that in pretty much any meta.
Is that they have tried both Lip Sombra and also Lip Sojin, and they don't seem to be very much locked in on either, because in the Seoul game, we had mainly Lip Sombra. In the Guangzhou game, we had mainly Lip Sojin, and we've had Fate the entire way through. Today, as we see in the starting lineup, Void is going to be playing. Now, I had it kind of on my wish list that I wanted to see Shanghai play into Void a little bit more, given that, Fusion are playing more into Fury, Smurf's hero pool is shifting more towards his off-tanks, right? I think that's probably the right call to make. At least you'll have nothing to lose here. You've already lost 2 matches with Fate. Give Void another shot, at least to look at what that Zarya can do, and we'll see where we can go from there. The other interesting situation for the Dragons is, what is the situation between Fledit and Who Are You? Who Are You is basically taking them to 2 finals, won one of them. Fledit struggled a little bit this season. I still have faith that maybe Fledit can bring it back. He needs a bit more time in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber to get that Tracer up to specs again. And the support line, we have Iziaki Bebe, where Bebe has been in and out of the roster throughout the entire year to somewhat middling success, but as I've kind of noted about where NA is going, they're playing a lot of double flex support. Dragons is one of the few teams in this region, next to, I believe, the Spark, who actually legitimately have 2 flex supports on their team to play with. So this is a very clear declaration from Dragons to say, we're going to be playing off-tank double flex support, very similar to what NA is doing.
We'll have to see how they look. I mean, the Shanghai Dragons, even starting off rough and looking like they're a little bit lost in the meta, and that some of the players aren't performing at the level that we kind of anticipated from them. It's really difficult to not give them the benefit of the doubt and say they can come back from this and whatnot. They can still recover this. Obviously, they're locked in for the playoffs, so they're still more than fine to be able to kind of have this downward dip, I suppose, at the end of the season. But you don't want to have that, is the thing that kind of carries you into the playoffs. But I'm still fully anticipating them to be able to get a grasp on this meta. It's just about when does it happen. And starting right now, I think would be very good for the side of the Dragons fans, much to the chagrin of the Fusion fans. But we'll have to just see who comes out on top of this one. I guess the players probably saying, like, you know what, we've seen a lot of Game 5s lately, so we probably have some extra time before we have to play. No, guys, we need you to get in the lobby. And they're working on it right now.
Yeah, currently waiting for Shanghai to enter lobby, so, you know, Moon's just double-checking, crossing T's, dotting I's, etc. to make sure that he's actually got the right starters. Like, maybe I should be playing Who Are You? I don't know, maybe not. There's a lot of Genji being played across the board, but you do need to flex onto the Tracer as well, and I think it's been a while since we've seen a Who Are You Tracer that's out for debate. Just got to talk about the history about these two teams for a brief little bit as well. They've so far faced up 4 times in the 2022 season. 2-2 record, both teams have won equal amounts. 3 of those games are 3-0s. The first 2 Shanghai Fusion matches were 3-0s in favor of Fusion. You'll fondly remember those from the kickoff clash. For some reason, Fusion would just not lose a map to the Dragons, and they were the bane of the Shanghai Dragons. And then you had Dragons bouncing back 3-0 versus the Philly Fusion in Week 9. That was during July. I'm trying to remember what tournament that was. That might have been mid-season. And then we had very recently here a 3-1. I believe that was Summer Showdown. So now we're finally matching up in the Countdown Cup. And, well, jury's out. Shanghai kind of still figuring out what they're trying to do. Fusion look like they have found an answer. Shanghai's answer does look pretty similar to Fusion's as well. So I'll go on a limb and give them the benefit of the doubt and say that Shanghai are ready to play a very similar style of game.
We'll have to just wait and see. Looks like everybody is now getting themselves into the lobby on the side of the Shanghai Dragons. We're still waiting on Bellisria, or sorry, Fury, I mean, on the side of the Fusion, so then we can get things underway. Also take a look at what, you know, the hell the map set is going to be, but hey, there we go. Got some faces on camera, and I can't tell if that is just an elaborate cup, or is he actually, because that looks like a milkshake glass that Izyaki's sipping out of.
Here's a question. What is Izyaki drinking? Wrong answers only. Write that one in the chat. That's a huge. It does look like a milkshake cup. We have the dichotomy
playing
of
a dangerous game.
Super Rich's tiny teacup versus Izyaki's monstrous milkshake cup. A dangerous game. Fusion play a dangerous game weekly. What are you talking about?
Well, I think we're getting into game now. The ready-ups have come through, and yes, okay. So things are going to be starting. We'll take a look at the map set here in just a little moment, so thank you guys for bearing with us while we got the players ready to go. Once more, we're going to be starting things off here on Busan, but from there, it's a lot of different looks. Yes. Yes, they are. A lot of different looks, as we will have New Queen Street as a bit of a repeat, but Eichenwald and then Circuit Royale.
I'll tell you what. I'm very excited for the Circuit map. It's that 3rd map in the series that I'm always going to get a little giddy for, and specifically it's because we're going to get the Void Fury Sigma matchup. That one's going to be a delight. Lip versus M3 on the snipers as well. So, you know, I'm already thinking about Christmas right now. We're months away, but I'm already getting geared up for it, and the tree is going to be hung up soon. Hung up? I don't know. Put up. At this point, I don't celebrate it. So here we go. Shanghai. Let's take a look at what we got here. D.Va, both sides actually D.Va. Now, M3 has actually played a reasonable amount of Sombra for Fusion so far. I'm still debating whether I think that's the right call for the Fusion, but we have just seen Fitz kind of dominate on the Sombra. Lip is thinking the same thing, so if M3 wants to succeed on Sombra, he's got to go up against the Sombra GOAT himself.
All right, well, here we go. Out the gate. Clashing in the middle, MN3 going unchecked, gets a hack here on to Void. Just arriving, puts a decent amount of pressure down. You're trying to beam him out as well, but can't quite break that mech. And while they all had their eyes trained on Void, Amgod has left out the drive. Flutter finds the kill. Fury now going to be crumbling as well. Won't get the mech break, but still very much going to be the one fight going over to the side of the Shanghai Dragons as they just continue to clean up member after member.
Catch you later.
Yeah, decent damage done so far. Izzyaki solo capping. Monk chilling, as a Monk rather, chilling on the point. Monk's already played in the previous series. Philadelphia Fusion, it's going to be, you know, we talked about the tank lineup a little bit. It was D.Va. Fury instead came out onto Zarya. Void really jumping ahead in terms of ult charge, and Aimgod finds first blood in the secondary fight. That's the opposite of what happened previously when Flitter got one.
Yep, get some revenge. Strikes him down, the hack again here on Void to look to take him out of the mech, and they should be able to do so, but no, the healing actually starts getting pumped in from Bebe.
Matrix was there as well. Void was spamming right click and just got the Matrix in time after the hack subsided. Nano coming online now.
Oh, well, Zest slept dead. EMP still. Trigger going to be pulled on that one. MN3 does help kill off Izayaki. It's about all they're going to be able to get, though. Shanghai Dragons now starting to occupy the point, trying to get the flip into their favor. Bebe, however, caught out. MN3 turning with the help of Fury. They find the elimination. Void going to be nanoed up, trying to survive, but still gets broken out of the mech. EMP goes across from Lip, catches Aimgod by himself, but It's the only kill that they can find, and Izayaki, he rejoins the fight. MN3 kills him once more.
I'm not too sure that Shanghai Dragons should have committed that far in. When Void is gone and Bebe's already dead as well, Lip probably should not have gone for an EMP. Because the other thing you have to remember is that Philly have the cap, so it's not like Shanghai are trying to fight for small percentage gains on the cap by blowing an extra ultimates. That ended up just being a waste. So the Philly Fusion, happy with the extra ult expenditure from the Shanghai Dragons. They'll absorb that economy. Now this time around, Void can do very little even with the Nano. That was a death rattle Nano as well as Bebe just goes down. Now Fury looking towards the grab. Okay, and so dies.
Yeah, Aimgod going to be taken down. Fix
Have the trance.
Hacked out as well. Sliver of HP remaining on Fix, and they haven't been able to finish him off quite just yet. They know exactly where he's at. Fleta going to be held at bay. They force him back, and Fix him manages to stay alive. And going to be invested as well. Goes over to Fury. They kill off Void, finishing that Baby Diva. Continues to just lob in these right clicks, looking for the kill on a Bebe. Will be able to stay in the fight for a little bit longer. Fury down low. Transcendence going to be used. Aimgod just making sure that they can go ahead and keep the Zarya in the fight. 85%.
Yep. Last fight Tetra coming up, an EMP. The timing is impeccable. Fusion look. I don't mind that they use the Transcendence just to reset pressure. That forces Dragons back. Dragons must respect the trance. Void now going for the touch, but they need ultimates. Bebe nearly on Nano. Void needs the remake on the self-destruct as well.
Drops down, gets the touch. Fury going to be hacked out, but there's the EMP, and that's going to be Izayaki and Lip taken down. Bebe as well. Left out in the back lines by himself. Ends up falling to Zest's hand. And then 3 will survive. Fleta and Void now against the world, trying to buy some time. They do find both supports, however. Pulse Bomb, Hail Mary tossed out from Zest. Trying to get the stick on the Fleta. Can't quite make it happen. Void goes for the touch back in, but doesn't quite manage to make it work. The Baby Diva will fall, as does the Tracer. Lip arriving, comes around the backside, out of the invis, translocates away, and no one is in position to get the follow-up. So 100 to 25% Fusion. They take control away from the Shanghai Dragons, who got it initially, and they never let it go.
I gotta say, Fleta and Void versus the world, and the world was a little bit shooken up there because that was looking good from Void and Baby for a little bit. Until obviously they ended up dying. Fleta had to go for the touch, Void, Baby Diva, then the touch afterwards, and with no further supports of players respawning, obviously a little bit too late for Lip there. No further progress for the Shanghai Dragons. Well played by Fusion. Again, I really credit Aimgod for pulling the trigger on that tempo trance. I mean, that could have gone poorly for them, right? Because it looked like they weren't really counter. They obviously didn't counter any ultimates there. Aimgod just fully tempo tranced it, but it forces Dragons back. Dragons have to respect it because Philly just use it as a bit of a reset button just to breathe again. It allows them to clear the point, charge up important ultimates like EMP, and then win the map with it that round. So appreciate that from the Philly Fusion. Now they're 1-0 up.
All right, into the second round we go. Skirmishing coming through. Lip just trying to build up as quickly as he possibly can. Zest gonna be taken out. Fleta finding that first blood. Gets the punish. Fix and Aimgod both also under fire. MN3, okay.
He just unvisits, kills Bebe, translocates, refuses to elaborate. I love that.
Yeah, just
and Lip had
this is what I'm going to do. Goodbye. He did his job.
As well.
Okay, well, he's dead now. Void finishes him off. And gets that kill as MN3 continues to greed forward, trying to get some extra EMP charge. Flip nearly there, and Flip will have it. 16% only here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons, but now they start rushing forward, trying to retake this quickly.
Now, Fury's been hacked a number of times, though. It doesn't seem to be under that much pressure, though. The healing's been good, and 1.75 second hack. Not going to be enough. Fire Nade not enough either. Nearly 100 energy. Look at that. The damage output, Void will be feeling it.
Yeah, that's both bubbles on himself. They're getting ready to come off cooldown now. Hack on the Void. No D-Matrix. Nano Boost comes out in response. Baby trying to make sure they keep Void in this fight, but the ante out onto him. Might still get D-Mech'd, but no. He does persevere. Zest taken down. Fixa under a bit of fire.
Oh,
Bio need that from Baby. Will finish him off now. Aimgod going to be taken down. Pinched by Fleta and Lip. The kills coming through. That should be the flip. And the Shanghai Dragons, they retake control. Fusion only at 36.
Yeah, that was a long-range shot coming through from Bebe on the nade. Curveball lands perfectly in the Philadelphia Fusion. Eventually have to give up that point. And now it's Izayaki and Bebe sort of chasing after MN3 and Lip, trying to have their own Sombra 1v1 to the sides. They'll trade each other out. And it's EMP on both sides. I wouldn't be surprised if both teams are aware of the EMPs, but how about that? Pulse Bomb stick.
Okay.
Pulse Bomb kill.
Yeah, very big opening kill here. A lot of the healing now taken out of the fight, so Void just going to be D-Mech'd, holds on to that self-destruct. I'd say quite wisely as well here. Knows that this is neck and neck right now. Fusion do not have the advantage. Will surrender it over to them though as that flip comes through. A little bit of extra cleanup as Baby is the last one to die.
And now this is, I think, MN3's territory as he should be looking for the setup here. Lip is invis that entire time. His team lacks the position. He sees double supports though, so Lip really feels like it. He could go for that one. You have to note that Fury is close by. Easyaki dying just means a reset for Shanghai here. Another 5 to 8% gone. So again, Lip can't actually make the solo play happen because the belief is that Fury will just go for the bubbles as soon as players are EMP'd out. So probably not get the kills.
Lip still hovering around the backside. MN3 doing very much the same. Oh, the detect is there.
Detector there.
Bebe.
I feel like Bebe knows.
Yeah, Bebe does know. EMP's still going to be invested.
God.
Only goes on the Bebe, actually, and it's great sleep dart put him on the ground. Izayaki charges with the right click. They find the punish. Huge kill here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons. The EMP getting absolutely nothing for them. Fixing out going to be hacked. The Transcendence comes out in response from Aim God.
Where's Lip?
Sure that they all stay alive. Fixa still going to die, however. Now Aim God looking to join him. Floodit gets the cleanup. The final headshot to go ahead and get the kill. 99% achieved here for the side of the Fusion. Shanghai Dragons now going to be flipping this back into the control. And look at the ults, Avril.
And that's because they survived against the EMP so flawlessly, and beyond that as well, Lip finds a solo kill to believe Fixer without having to expend EMP. That's the big difference. Fusion got nothing with the EMP, and Dragons didn't even need to use EMP, so now they get to hold all of that. Fusion, though, have a pretty big lead. It's more than 33% currently. It's a third of the map going their way. Fury with the solid grab still has to be careful of Void. Has to be careful of a hack as well. Lip is calling all this information. Has to translocate, got spotted by Fury.
Makes his exit. Spy checking a bit, trying to track down MN3. Finds him.
That's a
There's
good
the
hack.
hack. MN3 can't make his escape, and now he is dead. A crucial pickup here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons.
Oh, the grab got played.
What happened to it? Where did it go?
He played the grab. He played the grab on the stairs, and he died. Fury used the grab. He dies, and now Fusion are about to lose.
Okay, well,
the Dragons still
no
have 4 ultimates, and they've been clean.
No one can touch.
No, they're all dead.
They're
just all dead. They're just all dead.
I completely missed that he had used it. I thought I was like, did he get eaten? No, don't see the eat.
No. He used it, but then he died, so that no one could effectively do anything. I don't think it's his fault. The problem is MN3's already dead. MN3 thought he had the play into Void, and this is to break down the line of play and understanding for Fusion. This is their game plan. MN3 hacks Void. Void can't eat Grav. Fury goes for Grav, right? That's a very simple line of play. However, what actually happens is MN3 hacks Void. Lip hacks MN3. They kill MN3. Fury plays the Grav anyway. No one can dive the Grav. And Fusion just get picked off one by one, and then they lose. That's actually what happens.
All right, my eyes just are going, apparently.
Welcome to 30.
Take a sip of coffee, wake up, but yeah, welcome to 30. Yeah. Wake
That's
up
why
a
I got
little more,
LASIK, so I can see this game properly, you know what I'm saying?
I've always considered doing it, but keep the glasses. Had them since I was 12. Why stop now? Once more, though.
You're in for the long game.
Yep, there's the hack, and there's the kill. Floodit in pole position alongside Lip. They take down Aim God. Great early punishment here from the side of the Shanghai Dragons. Point now unlocked. The first cap once more for the third time in a row. Looking like it's going to be taken from the side of Shanghai. And yes, they will go ahead and cap it.
37 for Lip, 30 for MN3, not that far behind. We'll say one thing though, Void being on a Diva allows them to spy check for MN3 so much easier than the other way around, despite...
Aim God's dead again.
Besides how strong I think Zarya really is, but like you said, Aim God is dead. It's a 1-for-1 trade.
But now the trade up is there. 2 for 1 with MN3 getting taken down. Lip can very much take the lead in this EMP charge. By 5% at the moment. Works his way out on the walkway.
Philly is still in this. Still committing.
They are. Still a dangerous game to be playing. Just forced to use the recall. Just get back around the opposite side of the barrier. Try to join back in. And as he rounds the corners, instantly greeted with so much damage. He's still building up rapidly, however, towards that next pulse.
Bebe needs
that first one here in the round. He's got it. He's trying to take down Bebe. He
isolated.
Recalls right back in behind him, finds the elimination in the end. Fusion still not getting this flood power, but Shanghai Dragons maintain control up to 51% before they let it go.
You saw that Lip was thinking about going for the play there, at least block the cap. He had the EMP, but with Void leaving, support's dead, Lip held on. He bites his lip like that. As Shanghai Dragons. 5 ultimates nearly online. Still waiting for their opportunity to play through for this. The problem is they probably have to spend ultimates to actually get out of spawn at this rate. Still checking for MN3 as well, who's desperate to hack in the last 10% of ult charge.
Oh, Lip. Has he been spotted? I guess not. It's behind them. Still is. There's the beam. He gets caught. Translocates out. MN3 now. EMP of his own. At the ready. God getting closer to that transcendence. It's going to be ever important. But Zest picks off Fleta.
Wow, what is that?
That's critical.
Well, could have been a hack.
Maybe
That's a hack.
didn't quite catch it. That's definitely a hack. MN3.
Oh,
he
EMP
tries
cancel.
He tries
No,
to send it.
Void.
Now, he
He
still
got
does
Void.
get Void, but there's no one there to play off the back of it. Void just stays alive, and MN3 just completely panics after getting found out.
Wow. Shanghai now holding the 5 ultimates. That one lands the back line.
Oh, up over the
trance.
top. They don't manage to find the kill immediately, though, so AimGod does get the
That's a
transcendence
nano
out.
trance, by the way.
Zest slept. Fleta slept as well. Actually, Tracer for Tracer getting taken down. AimGod and Izayaki both getting their hands dirty, finding some kills. Points still held here for the side of the Fusion. They have taken the lead. 72% now built up for them. The grab comes in. Void not paying attention to it. Can't go for the E. Hack on the Fury, however. Now doesn't have any bubbles to try to bail him out in the healing. It's barely enough. He went down to 5 HP, and somehow he stays alive.
Void chased him.
Has the Mega Pack to play off the back of it, and Void just gives himself over. Now needs to respawn, join back in. It's 88%. They start pressuring the point. Fleta touching forward. Still goes low. Now gets taken down. MN3 with the kill in the Fusion. I think they might have taken this away.
Void still coming back from spawn. He's not there yet. See a silhouette. He's barely making it back now.
Okay,
they do enable the touch,
the
but they have no resources. MN3 is still going to get EMP.
OT bleeding down. Void manages to work his way forward. Forces out the OT yet again. MN3 going to be hacked out. He manages to stay alive. As the rejoin back in, though, it was a long translocate out. Manages to get himself back into position. Izayaki staving off AimGod in the meantime. There's the EMP drop, and Izayaki going to get flattened. They find the kill. The stick is good. Void knocked out of the mech. The baby is still going to be in the fight, however. Trying to pistol his way back in just as he gets it. He will be taken out.
Wow.
The Fusion managed to win out the round. Mecha Base and the whole of Busan is theirs. They start the series with a map victory.
So close. A lot of fighting on that last round on Mecha Base. I mean, it's just back and forth the entire way through.
Too.
It's a lot of kills across the map, right? You're correct on that one. I mean, the highlight of that for me was Void being demeched, Fury on like 1 HP dropping down the hole, and Void chasing him as the Baby Diva. And actually, Void, had he been maybe a little bit quicker or Fury been a little bit slower, Void might have had that kill as the Baby Diva, which would have been incredible. But it's kind of the weakness of Diva sometimes is that Void just spent so much of that game. If you are dead just in that Baby Diva form, couldn't catch the grab, like you said, didn't pay attention to Fury. Nanos saved Void for a little bit, but ultimately didn't give him enough to play through in terms of damage output, and that's kind of part of the weakness of running a Diva composition, as you do not have strong nano targets. That's why you often, at least in NA, see nanos being applied to the Zen when you're playing double flex support, whereas when you are the Philly Fusion, you can nano Fury on the Zarya. That's always going to give you value. That's so much more important and so much bigger, despite them having actually used a nano onto AimGod, who then transcends through the nano. So again, I kind of made fun of that. I don't know if you've ever seen a Transcendence nano combo onto the same hero, but there it was. Just a very tanky Zen, invulnerable and also nanoed. But Philly win at the end of the day, finding ults. MN3 had the EMP, Zest had the Pulse, Shanghai had nothing.
Well, quite the start here for the side of the Fusion. We mentioned, this record between the two teams, 2-2 this season. Tied up for the moment. Fusion take the first step and being able to go ahead and win this one out, make it a 3-2 at the end of the day. We'll see if they can carry on or if the Dragons will be able to have a Dynasty-esque comeback as we get ready to shift over to our hybrid map. That is going to be Eichenwald coming up next, so don't go anywhere, guys. The action is going to continue when we come back.
Apagando las luces.
And we're back. It's time to carry on our series. Map 1 going the way of the Fusion. Kind of felt like stealing away that last round of Mecha Base, but very back and forth, very scrappy, very much down in the mud between these two teams. Now we have to see if the Shanghai Dragons are going to be able to wrestle back and get themselves a map win as we get ready to go into Eichenwald.
And I think the more I'm seeing the difference of Void and Fury's picks, Fury leaning heavily into Zarya and Void leaning heavily into the D.Va, and some of this is going to be slight bias being also carried through from the Chengdu Seoul game, where Smurf also couldn't quite get the D.Va rolling. I think the real thing convincing me is that we can say that Void, sorry for Smurf, is like, well, you know, he's not really a D.Va player. Void, though, that's kind of no excuses right here. He is definitely a D.Va player. There is a bit of a gulf in damage between Fury and Void. I mean, I think when you look at the Zarya and D.Va damage output, that was always going to be the case, right? That should be pretty straightforward. But I'm talking a 4,000 damage gap between Fury and Void. That's pretty monstrous on a single player. That's, you know, a role that would usually deal less than the DPS counterparts. Fury out-damaged both his DPS as well. He did 28% of his team's damage there. So the Zarya, I think, carried a lot of weight for the extra damage output. That was very important. All others being roughly similar. Fury was the outlier in that particular map. So I got to, you know, throw the credit towards the Zarya play there for the extra damage output. And I felt like Void, you know, just I kind of said it during the moment as well. You nano Void, he stays alive, but as what? Like a paperweight? I'm saying, like,
as an ult battery, as an ult battery for the opponents, you know, so they can just continue to
hit that
giant hitbox. It's also, I mean, curious to see them like opting into the other tank's respective like pick that made them kind of a household name. Because you think of Fury, you think of D.Va. You think of the crazy flicks to be able to get those D-Matrixes through and everything. And then I think of Void, and I think all the way back to Apex, and I think of him playing Zarya and looking impeccable on that pick. So a fun little inversion of the roles there as far as the actual heroes selection goes. But it is the Fusion who kick things off with that win. Now we turn to see how they're going to fare going on to this defense here on Eichenwald.
And I'm going to be curious as to the opening lineup here as well. With Bebe still in, I have to assume it's double flex support once more. Now, Fusion are also going to play double flex support, but obviously Fixer is in, so he needs to be the one to kind of be a superstar on the Ana if possible. I'm trying to remember if he played Ana during Mid-Season Madness or whether that was Aim God. But we are seeing a lot more main supports be the ones actually playing the Ana now instead of Zenyatta. So we'll see how that one goes. MN3 as a defensive Sombra, Lip is the offensive one. Both need to do a lot of scouting here.
MN3 just looking to hold the front lines here.
That's Sleep!
Yeah, sees Baby there for just a brief moment, and Zest does get slapped, and yep, turn on the corner. Izayaki charged up on the right click, finds the kill. Nothing to be done there.
Okay, Baby.
A man down as they continue to charge forward here, over towards the point. Fury looking to hold the front lines. Right click gets a bit of damage there onto Izayaki. It's not really going to be forced out, though. Just reroutes, comes around the side. First tick, nearly established. MN3 hacked. Lip finds him. Make sure that he can't translocate out. Fury going to be slumped on the high ground as well. First tick, now and a half going to be taken here for the side of the Shanghai Dragons.
Might have to give up more if Fury can't touch because he has been constantly hacked on out. He's running low on bubbles as well. Looking towards Nanos. Both the Nanos are nearly online. Aim got low HP, taking down Izayaki long range.
Izayaki is just spamming through the doorway, eventually gets that final connection, finds the kill. The Nanoboost has been built up, however, by Fixa. And with high energy, Fury is able to get the pop on Avoid's mech. That might just be enough to stave them off for now.
Baby holding.
Coming back off cooldown. EMP comes in. Fury hits the floor. Pulse pump out from Zest. Looks for a kill. Will get one. Gets Izayaki flooded. Now going to be slumped into the back line. Is nanoed up, but there's the hack. Zest finds the kill before falling to Void. Cap still coming through. MN3 having to play forward. The chase comes in. The kick. They're just trying to keep Void in range. They find that break on the mech. And the Baby D.Va exposed once more. And it looks like the Fusion are actually going to hold this one off.
Yep. I mean, what a sleep from Fixer. That was disgusting. I don't know what it is with these main sport players on these Anas. We saw Nisha do it earlier to Prophet, but now Fixer is sleeping Flatter while Nano. Ridiculously good play. That saves a point, in my opinion, for the Philly Fusion, considering that Flatter was a Nano recipient. Izayaki dying again. He died previously on 97. Yep. That's a tragedy, because he would have had Trance in the fight. A Temperate Trance in that particular fight would have been really saving them, I think, for Dragons being able to cap through. He'll be
They are
holding it
chasing
for
so
the grab
far
now.
forward.
Assuming Void doesn't just eat the grab, and also, as you say, Fusion are pushed forward. They're pushed very far forward. Have to be careful about Lip, though, because Lip can also pressure the backline if your forces on the defense are spread too thin.
It feels like we're playing that Junker Queen meta again, just having with how far forward they're playing just then, but they're looking for the punish on the Bebe. Didn't manage to find it. Lip going to be spy checked. Taken out, translocates to safety. Right back into the mix.
Void wants to ace.
Nearly has that next pulse bomb ready to go. Flat out found.
Oh,
Stuck.
Flat,
Oh,
he's
gets
stuck.
bogged
He was
on
stuck.
He gets bogged on the telephone pole. Taken down now. Lip is gone as well. The support's out of the fight. You can see the D-Matrix there from Void, just trying to keep Bebe safe. Fury still chasing in.
My
Energyless, however. It builds up quite a
would
bit
win?
off of MN3.
Who would win, 2020
A telephone
MVP
pole?
or telephone pole? I couldn't tell you. I think it was a drain pipe, but in any case,
Oh, whatever
geometry.
it is.
Who would win? MVP or geometry, whatever it is, right? Still waiting for Dragons to make this attempt happen. They've just been bogged down, and that's the
And
pulse
there's a
bomb.
stick. Yep, another little graphical error there from Void. Does not get to eat. Not quite fast enough for that one. Aim
Oh,
got
that's
does
a
get
trade.
traded, however. But now Lip is going to be taken down, so it's still going to be a man advantage. Grant the faster run backs are there from the side of the Shanghai Dragons, but now they are just 20 seconds away from being full held by the Fusion.
And look at
Full
this.
ultimates.
MN3 might just go for a play as well. He's getting really deep. He's either I know he's scouting, but he could just go for a play.
Okay,
Fury's
he's
not
out.
that far off as well. You have to EMP Void. If you EMP Void, Fury's grab is free.
Going to be looking for it. There's the touch. Void crashes across. They
catch.
find both the supports. Flathead's going to be taken down as well. Catching a stray. The sleep dart will connect there onto Fury. The point still being ticked up. Void is trying to hold it. Gains him a little bit of extra percentage up to nearly 94. But now Void's the last one standing. He's knocked out. He's pushed off the point. The self-destruct won't find a damn thing. And it is a full hold at the hands of the Fusion over the Shanghai Dragons. What
No
a
EMP on
comeback
Void.
initially, and they hold it till the end.
No issue. They got Bebe and Iziaki. You take that. MN3 locks down the two supports. Nothing to save them. I don't know if Void had the Matrix to cover them either, but it didn't seem to matter. Fusion rocked up, rocked down the double supports. Even the solo grab at the end there, I mean, you know, Lip was the only one alive to still receive. I think it was maybe Void alive there, but Bebe just looking for anybody. He's like, onto Lip it goes, I guess. Fury solo grabs Lip, prevents any opportunity for Lip to get anything done. Void is the last one alive to try and do anything. Self-destructs, and Philly Fusion, knowing that they won, Zest even just walks up to it, recalls away style points, and like you mentioned, the full hold is there. 93.9 is all Dragons will get. It's at least 2 ticks, and it's at least a defensible position. But the lack of, I think, offensive output is really staggering. My preference would have been that if you're going to play the Diva, I could almost see that being better on the defense, but attack, Zarya probably makes more sense for offensive output because you're trying to play a little bit of anti-dive in defense, right, with the Diva look. But even then, you look at what Fury can do. As long as you're not getting pressured out of your bubbles, you're not just having to spam bubbles, and you can save some of those so that when the Sombra runs into your backline, whoever it targets, you just bubble that target, you're okay. You can definitely defend yourself, but wow, great defense from Fusion.
Absolutely impeccable. I mean, the comeback alone was enough to sell me. Even if they had lost the point, I would have still remembered that and been like, damn, what a play from them. But they held it to the very end. Now, Dragons looking for the fuller hold to be able to get the map victory. Point still sticking to the Diva. Izayaki has been quite deadly so far today. Wrap around the side. He's looking for a charge-up shot. Won't be able to find anybody, though. Lip going to be forced back.
I think Iziaki has to kind of be the player, right? He, like you mentioned,
Void's out.
Has hit some very important final blows, and Void's mech is gone. That's
and now
the
the
first
Diva
domino falling.
cleaned up. I saw Lip for a brief little moment there. Fleta recalling Lip
And he's
dead.
gone.
I mean, this should just be it. Fleta not going to be getting hacked here. Does manage to elude that first tick. Now the
He's
second
dead.
getting ready to
This
come
is
through, and he
capped.
cannot escape. It's over. Map 3. Let's
Just
get
like
ready to go. Just like that.
It's gone. One attempt.
Absolutely clinical from the side of the Fusion. Can I just say, I mean, granted, everybody right now on the side of the Fusion is playing fantastically, but Zest is playing like a man possessed.
And MVP candidate for 2022 Zest. There you go. And the Philly Fusion, they know what's on line for them. They know what's at stake. They are fighting for a 3rd seed in APAC. automatic qualification to playoffs. Shanghai are already there. I think mentally they might already be in LA instead of playing this match in APAC right now. But for the Fusion, they need this win. They need it badly, and they are one map away from getting it.
Yeah, I mean, granted, and I don't mean to do a curse, so Fusion fans, I know you're going to get pissed at me, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's happened in the past. They have been reverse swept before by lesser teams, but right now, with the way that the Dragons are playing and given the record, I guess,
existence.
The Fusion are looking damn good to be able to take this with a 3-0. But whether or not that's going to happen, it's entirely in their hands. You cannot blame me for this if it happens. So, back off. Anyway, they're looking damn good. Circuit Royale is coming up next. Potential there for that MN3 lit battle on the Widowmaker. Looking forward to it if that does come to fruition. But either way, Fusion might have just turned this into a very swift evening. We will see what happens, though, when we come back for that third and potentially final map after the break. So don't go anywhere. And we are back, and well. I mean, if you blinked, you might have missed the first map. It was a full hold into a very easy push from the side of the Fusion to be able to close out Eichenwald. Now they have the lead 2-0. That's right. It's not a glitch at the bottom of the screen. Everything is working properly. But there you have it. They've just been looking incredible, and the Shanghai Dragons continue to struggle right now.
I don't know if the Dragons are working properly at the moment. They might need to hit that reset button one more time, give it a good kick, maybe just, give it a good shake. Sometimes that'll help, Just slap it. Just slap the TV and reset it, see what happens. DJ Gon is coming in for Bebe for this next map as we're going to head over towards Circuit Royale. Now, it is a Sigma map now, and there's a little bit of a unique thing going in. Also, who are you coming for Fleta? So a couple of changes here. I'm going to address that in a hot minute when I'll get this one out very quickly first. But, we kind of had this wish list of seeing, wanting to see Void make a comeback in. We saw Fate for the first 2 games last week. It's like, it's not going so well. They could attempt to have Void in, play some off-tank heroes, right? That could probably go well for them. He comes in, 2 maps, and we're like, 2 maps he's plays Diva, we're like, we wanted to see Void in, but not like that. Not like that, guys. Just back a little bit. Let's just backtrack a little bit here. At least there's going to be some Sigma on this map, So we want to see Void in, but preferably on a Zarya, like Fury is doing. I'm not going to say that's the only reason so far, but it definitely left a bit of a sour taste, especially on that Shanghai attack on Eichenwald. It was just slow and uncomfortable. With no real ability to push up and really pressure out. Diva's just not going to do that for you. And despite some good plays from like Easyaki, Bebe, I think, had a reasonable sleep on one of the maps as well. It's not enough. The comeback from Fusion, we talk about that. That was the key critical moment for the Fusion coming back in despite losing 2 ticks. Yeah.
Just brutal and looking a bit out of sorts, I suppose, from the side of the Dragons, but need to desperately find some semblance of stability. So maybe with Lee Jae-gon, who are you, coming into the lineup now, maybe that can be the difference maker for them, because they need to be able to win this map. They need to take Circuit Royale, and then they need to win out several more from there if they want to be able to win this series. It's a reverse sweep if they want to win.
My prediction is, if we're seeing both Lee Jae-gon and who are you, it has to be Brig Genji. Assuming Lip plays Widow here, the lineup is going to be Widow, Genji, Sigma, Brig, Bap, I want to say. Would probably sound the most correct. They could probably fill the Ana, but I feel like BAP is too important for the Sigma, despite wanting to Nano Blade. So I think they'll forego the Nano Blade and play the BAP for that. That would make the most sense for me. Obviously, Fusion don't have the same... well, they also don't need it currently, but they don't have the same flexibility in the lineup. I think they can still get what they want done with this lineup, right? I'm sure Emin 3 will go towards the Widow. Fixer can play the Brig if he wants to. Zest can play the Genji if he wants to. They'll definitely be okay. That being said, though, if Fusion run back the Sombra, I'm curious as to how that would work for them, if it works for them at all. Because despite Sombra being fairly meta, I still think this map is very heavily Widow-centric and Sigma-centric, and those are the 2 key critical heroes that the teams need to rely on.
I fully agree with you in that regard. But we'll have to just kind of wait and see what they do have prepped for us here. But fully am looking forward to Who Are You's Genji. Haven't gotten to cast it for a good long while. So always a bit of a treat there, because, we've seen what Who Are You can do. He can put this entire team on his back. Should it be necessary. And right now, just given the scoreline, given the way that things have been going for the Dragons in the countdown to qualifier, it might be necessary.
I don't have this stat, and I would like someone with a lot of time on their hands to maybe do the dirty work for me, so to speak. Sure. But I kind of want to I'm curious, I want to find out what Dragons' win rate with Who Are You in the lineup and without Who Are You in the lineup is. Right? Like, how many maps do they win with Who Are You, and how many maps do they lose without Who Are You?
You probably want to say, just based off of loose recollection, that it's very much positive for them.
Extremely positive with Who Are You, and probably quite negative without him.
Well,
so I don't take it. I certainly don't say it lightly when I've at various points this season proclaimed that Who Are You is the most important player on this team.
See how he fares. They need him to go ahead and put another check mark down in the positive category. Otherwise, it's going to be a 0-3 loss at the hand of the Fusion, something that they haven't suffered since the second time that they played against each other this season.
Yeah, kickoff clash in the winners final, I believe. Winners final kickoff clash was the last time they lost to Fusion at all, but it was also a 3-0. In fact, the last 3 times Fusion have beaten the Dragons have been 3-0s. It seems like Fusion doesn't beat Dragons unless it's a 3-0. So maybe that prophecy comes true again.
Stage is set for it. It's
what I'm
all
trying to
about
say
the
is
closeout.
Either Fusion 3-0 or they're about to get reverse swept. That's that's not
We
me
are
saying
really
it.
just-
I know I'm saying it, but it's not me saying it. That's just the prophecy. I'm just reading the prophecy.
I see. Well,
Don't shoot the
you and I-
messenger.
depending on how this map goes, and potentially the ones after that, you and I might have drawn the entire ire of the Fusion fan base. We'll have to just wait and see
But
what
I do it on
happens for now.
purpose because it's funny.
This is very true. That's why I do it as well. Translocate out from him in 3, keeps himself safe. Just looking for as much of an EMP as he could possibly get there. And it's odd to just see that there's no sequence whatsoever. Action starts fine. Hugh does get taken down. Void finding one, but looking for a little bit more. Fix it desperately.
And there's no
please
Widowmaker.
hold still. Yeah. There's no
All right,
Sigmas, there's no Widows.
Well, I mean, we're
We've
just
hit
playing
a very
brawl comps.
strange gentleman's agreement.
We've hit Zarya, Genji, Ana. We're basically doing the hard Genji pocket. And I think on some level, Shanghai's like, guys, I think we just have to put Who Are You in, hard pocket Who Are You Genji, and just pray that works. And Fusion's like, I guess we could try the same with Zest.
Okay, hack out on the Who Are You. Can't quite find the punish. Puts a little bit of damage down to the lip. Antsy goes down to the 2. Who Are You and Void. Just getting clipped by that one for now. He and Zest pretty much neck and neck. It's getting these Dragon Blades
M3
online.
though. Look at the EMP.
Oh, Lee J gone. Yeah, I mean, the EMP is about to be there. Lee J going to be taken out. Zest just dashes through him, finds the kill. And also doesn't get punished for it, so makes his way out of there. Now he's very much got the lead towards the blade. Both
And
these
also that
options just
play as well with
patiently waiting.
M3 going in with the hack and then Fury's supporting with a bubble just allows M3 to claim the last bit of percentage points. Now with EMP available, Fusion can think about what play they want. They would probably prefer Dragons to be allowed to push through a little bit. EMP can come through now.
Gonna be the blade.
Stop
Okay,
you.
Kicks are gonna be taken down. He's slapped. They shut him down. A sleep dart from Izayaki puts Zest on the ground, nullifies the entire Dragon Blade, and it's just a team wipe. What just happened?
Was M3
Fusion.
AFK? Was M3 AFK or what? I don't understand.
Fusion had everything in their pocket, and then Shanghai Dragons just robbed them at gunpoint.
I mean, just EMP, Who Are You, and put him down. That should have been the play from Fusion, and then they eventually get the play through with Grav and Trent. They lose Zest immediately now. This will be a cap.
Unbelievable.
Okay.
The neutral fighting was going so well, and the moment that Fusion decided to pull the trigger on an ultimate, it just crumbled, it just fell to pieces.
Well. Now Lip should have some decent positioning. Actually, he's in the middle of nowhere. I lied to you completely. He should have some positioning. He's about to claim it now. As first EMP will be critical here. Dragon still holding on the blade, very importantly.
M3 though, strikes first, finds 4 with the EMP. Lijiglot going to be taken out. Poke and prod forward a little bit more here. Answering EMP, also
big.
going to find 4, but the follow-up is looking a hell of a lot better here for the side of the Dragons. Zest only able to find Izayaki. Void will go down, but 3 members left standing to just MN3. That is a victory. I've never seen one here for the Dragons.
They just have such a higher value in terms of ult economy exchange right now, where everything Fusion put in there is getting minimal value. Shanghai, everything they put in there is turning into gold. And beyond that as well, they don't have to throw in extra ultimates. They don't have to play the blade or the grab or even the beat here. They're almost on another nano, far ahead of where Fixer is. And now Lip is camping Translocator. Now we've seen Lip die to Fitz doing this. He's got to be a little bit careful. M3 is not currently tracking Lip, so that's fine.
Okay, there's the beat. Grab out from Fury. Catches quite a minute. Few, one of the largest grabs we've seen in a while, and M3 manages to gun down too. Ziyaki and Void both going to be eliminated. Now Lee J gone dead as well. So off the back of just the grab, they get a nasty catch onto everybody, and they manage to clean it up. So the cart not quite gliding into B just yet.
Void must have either ran out of bubbles, or I guess they just got burned through exceptionally fast, because Lee J did apply the sound barrier in that fight. Still waiting for this nano blade. I'm a little surprised that Dragons have been a bit passive on that. When you see Philly Fusion back on the defense, your next move is to play through the nano blade. They kind of just allow themselves to get grabbed there. And like you said, one of the bigger grabs that we've seen, that typically doesn't happen this meta. You don't normally find a humongous grab, but there it was. And by the way, Zest and Fixer almost on Nano Blade.
There's the hack, the blade comes in, Fixer hits the ground, Aim God joins him. Who are you? 2 quick kills. Looks for another one. Void will go ahead and take away the killing blow on a Fury. The cleanup is going to be there, and that will be the cap. Yeah.
So this is the other thing, is when Dragons win these fights, they're actually getting positive exchanges, not just in getting their own value, but
yeah.
Is Fury did it? No, Fury's probably okay. But it's also that Fusion are burning equal ults in some cases and getting very little out of it. Now, this time it wasn't exactly equal because I believe, yeah, Fixer didn't burn a nano, and I'm pretty sure Aim God had already lost Trance on it. He already used Trance on a previous fight. So, just the fact that Zest burns the extra blade while losing is just bonus for Dragons pushing through.
Well, it's certainly spiraling a bit here for the side of the Fusion. Need to get some stability. They had the cart halted, but then it's just as quickly they lose it. EMP out from MN3. Catches onto a couple. Void's the first one to fall. Good focus fire. And they're actually going to position all the way forward at the door again, or at least while they wait for the respawn to come in, if you're quite far up there.
They, I don't know if this comp has the capability of spawn camping like the Jungle Queen comp did. Because we haven't really seen enough games on circuit to know that. But also, Dragons had 4 alive, so I don't think Fusion could really push in. Anyway, Grav's coming up this fight. Also, Lip needs to set up for this EMP, and I'm not too sure when Lip is. There he is.
Okay, finds both the supports. Aim God surviving, Fixer taken down. It's going to be the Nano now out of the fight. Void throws out the Grav, gets the catch there on to Zest. The cleanup comes through. 3 members now dead, make it 4. As Aim God does fall on the back end, the cart can once more start gliding again here for the side of the Dragons.
That was one of the more expensive fights for Dragons. It's 2 big ticket ults gone in terms of EMP and Grav. So obviously the next one we're playing through is for the Nano Blade while holding beat for safety. Payload was also stalled for a very long time. Lip has to be careful here. I think he translocated away. Dragons have a decent amount of push now. We're actually heading towards the final straight.
Okay, Grav is in.
Legion hacked.
Fury getting the catch, and Legion, yep. Not going to be able to beat his way out of that one. Does end up falling. That's going to take the clock down below a minute now. Fusion still with a hope of being able to deny the finish on the map.
Very impressed with what MN3 did in that particular play. They knew they were going to play for the Grav. Obviously around the corner, Fury was set up for it. Legion had the only counter, with MN3 focusing with that hack that was everything they needed to stop Dragons from being able to survive the Grav. And now with under a minute, Fusion still hold on to 3 important ultimates. We're still 10% off of Who Are You is also not quite on board to play through for the Nano Blade. And if Iziaki goes down, it just slows things even further. They know the Nano's up, although that information should have been obvious to Fusion already. MN3 is also reasonably close to EMP with Lip Swap and a Sojin.
Shots going out. Iziaki in the back, just keeping everybody alive. Neither Zarya anywhere near a grab, so those aren't going to be deciding factors.
Final fight
for the rest of this one, but as you say, final fight, 25 seconds, Zest goes in, Dragon Blade pulled the bubble out, beat as well. They zone him all the way into the back, now he's going to reroute.
Who are you?
Going to be pulled by Who Are You, and this time he does find Fixer. Almost going to be popped the Transcendence as well, layered in there from Aim God, trying to keep everybody alive. The EMP strikes, Who Are You falling low, gets the deflect up in time, however, manages to stay alive, but it's going to be Legion taken down. Fixer now swapping over to the Lucio, no, changes his mind, goes now for the BAP. Fury in the corner, going to be taken down, Anti on the Zest, he's also going to fall. Dragons still in a winnable position now. If they can close this one out, and with MN3 going down, that might just be it. The Mortality Field going to be cleaned up. Fixer's dead. And they get it in overtime.
Wow. The Nano Blade exchange once again going the way of the Shanghai Dragons. Yeah, you see Zest pushed, buffeted about, booped away. Great peel by Lee Jae-gon, who eventually does die afterwards. But for the Shanghai Dragons, Who Are You? Pouring through the Nano Blade, and despite Aim God's Transcendence, still gets the kill to Fixer. That was brilliant. Take a look at the replay now. Sleep, I believe? Boom. That was so nice.
Great sleep. And that was just the moment that kind of really spiraled everything out of control. And, Iziaki. Huge, yeah. That's
so that was the blade. So
he had popped the blade.
So that's the extra blade. Yeah. That's the thing, right? It's hard to notice he even popped the blade because nothing came of it. And now we know the reason nothing came of it was Iziaki just straight slapped him.
Godlike play from him. Two quick shutdowns there. Yeah. Huge shutdowns. Map winning ones, perhaps, if they can go on to close this out.
I don't know if Zest has had a positive blade yet. Now, 2 of those got shut down by Iziaki. We saw the last one got shut down by Lee Jae-gon. Well, not quite slept, but I mean, at least booped away with no dash available. I can count 3 on my hand currently that all went to right. So the one area that has not been positive for the Philly Fusion is either the Blade or the Nano Blade exchange.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Lip
Oh,
is
now
curiously
onto
not
the
on a
attack.
Sombra here either, by the way. M3 should be on Sombra.
And there's the swap. No, Soldier.
Okay, no.
Okay.
So they both
Gentleman's
played
agreement, no
Sombra
Soldier.
on the previous
Yeah.
round, and now they'll both play Sojin now.
It's,
Really
firm
are
handshake.
handshaking this one.
Okay. See how it fares.
flex
Legion, of
support
course,
for
still going to be on
Fusion.
the Lucio.
Which he did play last time. Philly Fusion's double flex support as mentioned here. I think for A, this is a very smart pick. It's very hard to pressure backline as a defenders versus this double flex attack. Once you get deeper into the map, then aim got a fixer will be kind of more easy to attack from sides. But opening A point is just single lane, right?
Oh, okay. Forward aggression there from Who Are You, but it's the backline that suffers. Aim God. The sniper
4
on the
HP.
HP bars right now. The Fusion is so low. They don't have that AoE healing from the Lucio, but it doesn't really matter. It seems they still managed to find the pick
Fusion
off,
can
and
cap.
That's it. That should be the cap. Maybe a
Void
desperate
has to
drop
jump down now.
here
If he
from
wants to
Void,
contest,
but
no, not
they're
gonna do it.
they're
Not
not
gonna
going
do it.
to. A lot of concessions being made on point Ace today. We saw Chengdu having to do the same thing on King's Row.
Yeah, I mean,
5.5
just-
minutes nearly.
I can understand it. I can understand and respect it because they just down on members. At that point, if you fly onto the point 3, maybe even 4v5, high likelihood you lose. No ultimates to play through either. Hand Dragons found a quicker nano or something, possibly, but both of the nanos are only just coming online now. With the blades reaching in. Just gonna play it dry.
On to Who Are You. Doesn't have much to work with, and now he's going to be antsied out. As the deflect expires, he goes down. Izayaki going to be joining him in the grave. They lose Fury for the front line, but still going to be a 2-for-1 here for the Fusion. Now a 3-for-1 special.
This is so easy.
As they are just making it look easy and breezy.
I gotta say, Dragons, it looked like they had to exert a lot more effort to get to this same point in the map. And Fusion have done it 2 fights in a row where we've barely had fights, you know? Some quick skirmishes. That's at least 1 kill going the other way. Dragons now getting aggressive. This will be the first time Fusion are forced to reset.
Slows him up for a bit. Does allow for the Dragons to take that more forward position. Lip going on a bit of a flank, but doesn't have the rail shot fully charged up, so can't go for the full stealth headshot tag. Let's get Zest climbing up the wall, but instead of whiffs, it goes a little bit wide. 4 ults nearly here for the side of the Dragons. Who Are You? Almost has that blade ready
Should
to
just
rock.
be overclock. I don't think you even need to, you don't have to wait for the blade here. You just go play through the overclock. M3 doesn't quite have it. I don't know if Fusion can do too much except just leave. Exit this point.
Okay,
Void grab.
in from
No,
Void.
Void is
Catch another
grabbing.
couple. Zest still going to be taken down. Aim God with the Transcendence just not able to keep him alive. Didn't quite see exactly what happened there, but Fury, he throws his own grab, but beats there in response, and Fury actually just dies. Lip domes him. And that's one ult used in the follow-up fight from Lee Jae-gon to just keep them alive. Gives his life for it, but the cleanup continues to be found. Fusion sends scattering back down the hill.
Okay, so now we are starting to lose a bit of time on the Fusion side of things. Aim got slit, but is okay. Still 3 ultimates on board for the Dragons, so yeah, we essentially just trade support ult for support ult, grab for grab. Shanghai come out on top. Nano about to come back online for Fixer. This will be the second round of nanos on both ends, and this time it will be nano blades. And Dragons can afford to just play this one a little bit patiently. They could even afford to just wait until Fixer and Zest go first, and then Who Are You and Izayaki respond. Otherwise, Fusion will just disengage, which is a little bit dangerous for Who Are You.
Nano going out. Who Are You? Quickly dashes once, twice, finds the supports, finds 4 kills. And yeah, there you go. There's a quick reset. 2.5 minutes gone. 2 ults expended from the side of the
if they go
Dragons.
towards
But now
spawn.
just the overclock is all that they hold.
Well, I think this is the interesting part now, is do they go for any sort of spawn hole? Because that would actually force Fixer and Zest to pull through earlier than they want to. And Fusion actually, I guess, walked up far enough for Who Are You to feel safe to go for the play. They could have actually maybe burnt a bit more time off the clock had they waited, but they'll make the play. Now that the difference maker is going to be how do they defend against Nanoblade play in the response.
All right, overclock pop. Fury just under so much pressure, completely surrounded. Look at the quick shot there on a Zest. Sets up for Who Are You to get the kill on the M3 as well. And we're down below 2 minutes now, Avril. Not much gained as
That
well
was
on that push for the Fusion.
And you can see that Lip and Dragons can actually just win a fight off an overclock alone, and that's the play I thought they were going to go for a little bit earlier, back when we had a bit of a neutral on the top of the ramps, but the Gravs were traded instead, but would have been cheaper just to go for the overclocks. They give up a lot of space now. They are still expecting Nanoblade. Here it is.
Okay, it is pulled. Finds one to start, finds both supports. Zest breaking things open. Who are you? Dashing away. Keeps himself alive for now. Continue to go on the hunt, looking for any additional staggers. They know that is going to snowball, but yeah, this is still very much retakeable from the side of the Shanghai Dragons, or at least can drain the clock down. Void is right there on the doorway.
They have Grav on the doorway. They can push through easily with that, just bubble themselves.
Okay, he builds it up.
Oh, no,
dead.
not.
MN3 with the overclock, pops it, slides away, instantly gets the headshot, gets Legion gone as well. And that win condition was quickly snuffed out. Great shot from MN3 to effectively save the cap. Had he not killed Void, that
because
absolutely
otherwise,
could have been turned around.
I mean, the exchange otherwise was going to be that Shanghai Dragons probably do get this retake going forward, but this is also the risk of Dragons playing the Nanoblade earlier than Fusion and not getting that sort of blade for blade trade, because on previous fights when Dragons were attacking, both teams were blading at the same time and Dragons were coming out ahead. And this time around, Fusion get a free Nanoblade where they get to kind of win off that. Fury grabbing that. Okay, all three called. That should be it.
Yeah, he was on the flank. Who are you? The only one who survives. And Void's still just holding on to one of his own. And oh man, the cheeky wait. It's going for that push.
Oh, it's another play. Second play, Boop.
Okay, Lee Jae-gon is just doing Lee Jae-gon things. We might not be on Lee Jae-gon Tower, but still finding so much value. Zest cleaning up too, however.
Lee Jae-gon Hotel.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, despite Zest getting those kills, Philly still have to wait for full respawners here, so no progress. By the way, look at Dragon's ultimate bank economy again. It's just stacked up nearly 5. So this 1 minute, they need more time. Fusion are at risk of not capping here. There's just simply too many Dragon's ultimates to play through.
See if they can do it. Aim God, however, dead. Now Zest gone as well. That's a minute remaining. It's just going to be a hard reset. Fury popping the bubbles, trying to stay alive, trying to answer back a little bit of damage here. But I mean, you need to die sooner rather than later. Now he's down, and that cost them 0 ults. Shanghai Dragons rushing out, looking for those additional staggers.
Because that fight should have cost ultimates. Who are you need to die here?
They can't. It's going to be Fix-A-Dead.
It's a trade.
MN3. But it's not a trade that the Fusion wanted to make.
No. The problem is, like, when we're at the 1 minute mark, Fusion, even if they lose that fight, they have to force ultimates. Because they lose the fight just through sheer picks alone, and Dragons save economy, their economy now is perfect, and we're heading to last fight where Dragons literally could not be in a stronger position. Which means, if Dragons somehow don't win this map off this 5 ultimate play, then that's the biggest choke we've seen all season, probably.
Thank God.
Should be a guaranteed win, 5 ults.
15% away. The overtime forced out. Zest holding the blade. The Nano at the ready. He spawns. Who are you on the right side flank? OT starting to bleed down. There's the touch. Zest looking to lead the charge. Overclock. Hop lift instantly. Domes MN3. And he's looking for more. And he's just tearing them to shreds. Aim God dead. 8% away. Zest the last one standing. The blade sheathed. He's too far away. It will get cleaned up at the very end. And there is the hold. And there is a very scary thing occurring for the side of the Fusion fans. Shanghai Dragons, they went out on Circuit Royale, and that is the first step.
Tell you what, it's a 5 ult expenditure to receive a 5-star treatment on Circuit Royale for the Shanghai Dragons. Yeah, I mean, that fight was going to be incredibly difficult for Fusion. They desperately needed to pull more ultimates out of the Dragons before we got to the final fight situation. That did not happen, and Dragons' economy far too clean in that particular map on both attack and defense, and a lot of it just came through from either singular picks coming through from various players that Fusion couldn't respond to, or ultimate exchanges where both teams ulted at the same time, but Dragons consistently came out ahead. Blade versus Blade, Nano versus Nano, Overclock versus Overclock, Grav versus Grav. A lot of those went the Dragons' way.
That they did. Well, we're not done yet. It is not going to be the 3-0 closeout that the Fusion so desperately wanted for themselves. They wanted to bring back, you know, some times that from the past. Not to be. So now we get ready. We get focused up to go into New Queen Street once more to see who is going to be able to win that map, whether or not we're going to have another 3-1 closeout, or if this is going to be an attempt, a run back into a Game 5 at the hands of the Dragons as they seek a reverse sweep. The action's going to continue in just a few minutes. It's been scrappy the whole way throughout, so you guys absolutely do not want to miss it, so don't go anywhere. And we are back. This series is not over yet. The Fusion had the 2-0 lead, but the Shanghai Dragons now look to engineer a reverse sweep. They get the victory on Circuit Royale, allowing Fusion to get close to finishing the map, but they stop them at the very end. Now we move over to New Queen Street once more for push.
And Dragons, if they want to get the reverse sweep done, they're going to have to do it uphill because New Queen Street has historically been one of Fusion's best maps of, you know, just across the board. On any meta, it seems like all metas, this map is just good for the Philly Fusion. We are going to have some substitutions. Baby coming in for Lee J gone. And it doesn't end there.
No, it does not.
We'll just wait for the we'll wait for the public. There you go. Flatter in for Who Are You? So we're going to go back to our map 1 and 2 lineups. Double flex support.
Yeah.
Flitter Tracer. Could be Flitter Reaper, but I think Flitter Tracer. Actually, maybe, possibly even Flitter Genji. That would probably be... If it is Flitter Genji, I think that would be funny, because that would then be like, Dragons could have just played Who Are You anyway, but they subbed them out. So, for people's sanity's sake, you probably hope not Genji and just a lot of Tracer then.
I can't imagine that they would, especially after the performance that we just saw from Who Are You, I can't imagine that they would sub Who Are You out and have Flitter come back in just to play the Genji. I mean...
You lack the imagination.
Is Moon really on... Are the doses that strong right now? Like, I mean... I don't know.
Well, he's already on a plane to LA. He's not even there, you know. They're like, oh, we're playoffs bound? Ah, who cares? He's already on the way. He's already gone.
Maybe that's the case, but I think definitely some cause for concern, just given that the starting 5 got bodied.
Like I said,
granted, different map
they're
type,
going uphill.
So.
Definitely going uphill here. More ways than one, but Dragons look. Lip definitely had a bit of a banger of a performance on the Soj, and that's one area that you can always rely upon. Old reliable is Lip on that Sojin, so I'm expecting a lot more of that. That being said, though, I will say he'll come back on a Sojin, and then he'll probably lock in the Sombra.
Well, time will tell as we're getting ready to load up into what very well could be the last map of this series and of the evening. Fusion, I mean, all time on this map have just been looking incredible. I mean, they're kind of the squad that invented the bot steal. Zest just getting in there, stealing it away while no one's paying attention. He's running it across the opposite side of the map. This is where that has happened. So it is a big boon for them. See how they fare, though. Because when you have been reverse swept, it can
possibly trace a Sombra, if not Sojin Tracer, maybe. Sojin Reaper, possibly. I think the Reaper's probably not that ideal going into a Zarya Mirror. Fusion, I mean, they still have the safety of going to a map 5 here, but I think for them, they should be confident about locking this out into a 3-1 victory, given their history on New Queen Street. So we'll have to see what it is. We are being teased with a Junker Queen. I don't think that'll be the case, but we are being teased with one. And right now, the combined mass of Shanghai fans like, please, 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 Junker Queen, please. Please, Fury, just lock it in.
Well, I was going to take that moment as we were getting ready. You'd start doing the pre-map analysis towards you getting ready to open. I was going to take that moment as to get some food in my face, but apparently not, because we have a pause. So the light's got to come back on. I got to get back on camera. Pardon me while I just have a sip of water. So yeah, just going to go without food for a little bit longer, I guess.
Your pardon. We will accept the pardon. As we wait for whatever issue that is. I think Coach Jin on Fusion's just rushing to the room right now. I was like, Fury, what are you doing? Get off that hero!
Could be.
as we are also seeing, by the way, a couple of picks that I think are going to see the light of day is the Zen and a double flex on the Fusion side. Zest, Tracer, MN3, Sombra. I think that is pretty typical, and that is something that we do normally see. As Fury's obviously just having a bit of fun here. Shanghai, we lock in soon as well, double flex support. I'm curious about what Lip and Flitter are playing. Every other position, I think, has been pretty solid. And looking like Tracer Sombra as well. So another thing where we look at old reliable Lip Sojin, not going to be making an appearance here on New Queen Street.
Objective unlocks in 30 seconds.
That is not. Well,
here we go.
Into the game we go. Doors opened up, and it's just going to be weird
M3 and Lip
are
starting on opposite ends, by the way. So Lip starting on statue side, and M3 has started on the Mega side all the way on the other end.
Hasn't revealed himself yet. Aim God, though, slept. Gets the hack on a Fixa, turns his sights over to Aim God, but the bubble is there for Fury. He helps keep him protected. Now Lip, unable to bail out. Corpse goes sailing off the side into the icy depths below. And that's going to be the Fusion charging forward, looking to get some further punish here. MN3 still in the back line, drawing some attention. Void going low. I think he's out of bubbles as well. And now Bebe going to die. Is it Yaki? Dangerously low, but so is Gray. He gets pushed forward. Fury managed to keep him alive.
How?
He continues to go so damn low, but the healing from Aim God and Fixa saves him.
I saw him go down to 30, maybe even just below 30. Did not die. He is running at Izuyaki, who, by the way, picked up a mini pack. Void trying to keep them safe as well, but the Fusion cleaned them up, and because of that, because of the late deaths, by the way, Fusion can continue pushing beyond the 25 to 30 meter mark, which is what most teams get after winning the first fight, especially cleanly. They're going to get 35, maybe even 40 here, and the Dragons desperate to try and find anything, but they just lose Izayaki.
MN3 again. Okay, Overseas is welcome. Maybe not quite respecting the damage output of Void. Does end up giving his life over.
He didn't have a
Void's still
translocate.
under fire, though.
One.
Oh, it got broken, I see. Okay, well, he was just YOLOing for it. Either way, they still can't contest this.
What,
so that's a checkpoint in the first 2 minutes.
Oh, my goodness. That's so fast.
This is absurd.
This takes teams a lot of fights to get. I mean, when we talk about push maps, we spend a lot of time putting emphasis on how important camps are because they take a lot of effort to get. Yeah, Fusion get it with minimal effort. And they are in a commanding lead.
Zest gets a pulse bomb stick on Izayaki, takes him down. The bot was shifting into neutral territory, but the Fusion, they regain control, which means they hold the forward spawns. If anybody dies, they can make use of that, but so far it's been looking pretty damn good for them. Pulse bomb from Flutter, not going to find a connection.
If Fury just grabs, there's no defense.
Port's just dead.
There it is.
He was left out by himself. Lit will find one, so Fixa does get eliminated, but yeah, I mean, like you said, Fury grabs, waiting patiently, knows that somebody's going to fire at Zest, waits, has the bubble, throws it on him. Now Zest is straight back into the back lines. Look at the pressure out Izayaki.
He's died so many times, he's significantly behind aim guard, so there was no trance ever in that particular fight, so Fury had a free grab at all times.
EMP catches everybody else. Void was still trying to run back out of the spawn room, I do believe.
90 meters
to the front, but didn't get clipped, and yeah, it's still pushing. They're going for this would be a record if they could just go ahead and push straight to the end. No one's been able to do this in this amount of time.
Oh
Void's
my goodness.
dead, and they just haven't been able to use any of their ultimates.
100.
And even if they do, I don't know if it'll help them.
And by the way, Fusion are overspending. They know they're about to lose the next fight, but they can keep spending until Dragons do something, because as long as Fusion is spending, they're winning, and they're about to be 120 meters in 3.5 minutes.
Have all of the keyboards come unplugged. The EMP used by Lip manages to find Zest.
Is this a cap? Is this a cap?
Keeps everybody else alive. They are continuing to push. Bebe is dead. Flutter is trying to buy some time, but even with the nano boost, he gets destroyed. Izayaki popped the Transcendence of his own. It's 4.20 meters left to go, by the way. And yeah, the trance is going to expire. Doomfist comes out from Void. He's instantly hacked. Izayaki's dead. Lip is so damn low. Fury continues to play around the flanks. He can't quite get that finishing blow through, but Izayaki still picked off. Void now just isolated, pulse bomb, kills him, and this is a league record. It's done. It's over. What?
Victory.
3 minutes and 55. They finished the map in 3 minutes and 55.
This is I've never seen this done before.
Is that the fastest New Queen Street we've ever seen?
It has to be. There's no way. There's no way that this has been done before. And if it has, I will happily say, okay, good job to whichever team did it before. But this was brutal.
Couple of things straight away. First of all, Fury did not die. Deathless on that entire, I was going to say map, but let's just call it an entire attack. Didn't go down one time. Carried his team the way through. Highest damage on his team, 32% of his damage. Of his whole team's damage at 3.8k. Now, the game finished in 3 minutes, in under 4 minutes, so he does nearly 4k damage in that time. Way higher than anybody else on the server. We have not a single kill from Flutter, sadly. 3 final blows on Lip, 2 final blows on Void, and that's it. Only 5 total final blows from the entirety of the Shanghai Dragons. Split across their 2 DPS and the 2 supports on Fusion, with Fury receiving none of those final blows. What?
I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I was getting concerned because Fusion, I mentioned it before, you know, they lose that 4th map or the 3rd map, and they have been reverse swept before. Like, does that start hanging on their heads, you know, in the back of their brains? Like, oh God, is it happening again? Do they start slipping up and making mistakes because they dropped that map? No, not at all. They doubled down and they absolutely bodied the Shanghai Dragons on New Queen Street. Fusion continued to look like the cleanest team on that map in general, but this was something else. This was more dominant than when MN3 popped off and had like the hardest carry performance of his life on Ashe. This was a collective team diff at the hands of the Fusion. They completely and utterly destroyed them, dismantled, broken down bit by bit until there was nothing but scrap metal left. Zest is a player of the match.
He is. He's a player of the match. Let's talk about it right now. Let's bring it up. He was phenomenal this series. I'll say it. Fury carried the hell out of the game on the final map, but Zest across the board was super impressive today.
Yeah.
And that's not to speak poorly of Zest on the new question either. How many pulse bombs, how many kills did he have on Izayaki? How many multiple deaths on Izayaki were at the hands of Zest completely shutting him down? Way too damn many. And I have the stat line, by the way. I've done the research. I figured it out. And give me a guess. What do you think the fastest ever New Queen Street finish was before today? So today, 3:55, I believe, was the finish. What do you think was the previous? So to no one's surprise, that is the fastest New Queen Street we ever had. Just confirming. Fusion set a league record. What do you think it was before that?
It's probably in the range of like 7 minutes, 25 seconds.
7 minutes to finish the whole of New Queen Street, right?
Yeah.
I can tell you that the previous record was set by Gladiators versus Houston in the Mid-Season Madness tournament, and the finishing time required to finish the whole map was 5 minutes 27. Fusion beat that record by a minute and 30 something. Math's failing.
A minute and 30 lots of seconds is basically the way to sum it up. That is unbelievable from them.
By the way,
I'm still at a loss for words.
It's not even the fastest New Queen Street we've seen. It's the fastest push. Because the fastest Coliseum that's ever been done was Atlanta versus Dallas Kickoff Clash tournament, 4 minutes 36. This time on New Queen Street still beats that by about 40 seconds. So for both matches, for all push of all time, which is only this year, this is the fastest push that's ever been completed. So
unbelievable. Fusion just somehow, I don't know. They have the read on this map type, I suppose. They just crush it. Look, I know that there's going to be people out there, especially on the Fusion side of things, who are saying like, I'll do the voice. Why are they giving the player of the match to Zest? I think the Fury deserved it. Fury plays so well. This was just basically a 5-sided die. Just roll it. Who cares? Who cares who gets the player of the match? They all deserved it. They all played absolutely out of their damn minds. Zest got it because he played so well the whole way throughout. I mean, Fury, sure, he was right there with him. You could have also given it to the Vinham, you could have given it to the MN3. It doesn't matter who it gets it. The fact of the matter is that they won. They absolutely bodied. So
you know who I'm giving it to?
Damn about the player of the match today.
The player of the match, in my eyes, is Moon from the Shanghai Dragons. Well done. Player of the match.
Good job,
That's the coach that Fusion needed.
That's
the coach that Fusion needed today. Well done.
Oh, boy.
Alrighty.
Spending too much time hanging out with Krusty, I suppose. But damn. Well, that turned into a very quick day after all. Thought that it was going to go a lot longer, but no. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up. That's day 1 of 3 out of the way for myself and Avril. Like I said, we'll be bringing you guys the action the whole weekend throughout. And we will see you back here tomorrow, same place, same time for 3 matches. So make sure you guys tune into that. And then, if you really feel like it, you can check out North America or whatever the hell that one is if you want to. So cool. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Overwatch.